Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 202, baby, presented by Hair Club.
Yeah.
I had to bust my ass to get here today. I'll tell you that right now, man. Hey, you should be very, very happy that I got here on time, Cam, and the effort that I put in just to get here.
I was getting a little worried, man. I mean, this is...
You kind of stressed me out. It's like, listen, I told you what time I'd be here, and you still want to, all of a sudden, right when I get...
Well, I got shit to do, too.
The plane lands.
Yeah, and I texted you.
The first thing that happens, ding.
Yeah. I want to know where the fuck you're at. I got a 45-minute drive. I got to, plan this shit out. I don't trust you when you tell me times, too. And I don't want to hurry up because you got the kids with you. If you were by yourself, I'd be like, what the fuck, let's go. But you got the kids, and I get that, and I love them. And I hope you had a lovely time. But, I always have to wait on you, and I was just kind of curious. But I'm not going to chirp you because you got here earlier than expected, and now I'm in good mood.
Yeah, okay,
so let's
good.
go.
Good.
What's up?
Well, how's the weekend been?
Well, why are you asking me? You went to goddamn Colorado. Now, listen. I love our fans, and they know what's entertaining. When you're family. You didn't do that. You didn't get attacked by a bear. You didn't wrestle any bears. So don't even go down a fucking rabbit hole about any of that shit.
I'm not scared of bears anymore.
I know
I've
you're
seen
not. But
videos you stand there.
You went. You had ice cream. You chilled out. You had a lovely time with your family. I don't need. You don't need to exaggerate. We don't need to exaggerate. You didn't wrestle any bears. You didn't even see one. You didn't even see one. But you did go to a cool concert. How was that?
The concert was good. Can I tell you what happened to me today?
Oh God.
So I get to the, first off, alarm set for 4:30, had to take the rental car, drop off the rental car, have an Uber pick us up from the rental car place, and take us to the airport. Now,
what time's your flight?
This is all going down at
what time's your flight?
5 a.m., 7:30.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got work to do.
Okay, so, and Denver, if you've been to the airport in Denver, it's not really near anything. It's homie. Completely out of the way of everything. So listen. Oh, really?
What?
Well, why do you hear?
Wait. You don't know about that?
No. What's the?
Motherfucker! Check out fucking Denver Airport, homie. Look, just creep around Denver Airport.
Really?
Look up.
There's a reason why it's 30 minutes outside of town.
30 minutes. It's 45 minutes.
Well, depending on where you're coming.
Okay.
from.
Well, whatever. It's in the middle of nowhere, but there's some crazy ass shit.
Okay.
Let's read up on it, homie.
Dude, so anyway, Frontier Airlines, okay?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we flew.
Cheap ass.
Frontier, I know. Well, it was kind of a last-minute plan. And my buddy said, hey, listen, this will be the first and the last time you ever fly
that thing,
Frontier. Bro. Well, you never know. The plane was very old.
Oh, fuck. Like you're in Russia
Do you want to hear about the trip on the way out there or the trip on the way
home?
I
want to hear some. I don't want to hear about you wrestling bears.
I got very sick on the plane.
Tell me some negative stuff because people like to hear heartache on road trips.
Listen,
so let's hear it.
I was at an event the night before, before I left for Colorado. I rolled into the house very, very late, and I think I was poisoned. Somebody poisoned me. And
you got roofied?
I couldn't stop throwing up all morning long. I don't know.
Roofied, you'd just pass out.
Well, I was poisoned. Wouldn't stop throwing up. On the plane, I kept going back. Oh, my God, it was the worst experience of my life.
It's not your ass?
Dude. No.
Puking only?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's worse.
So my girl, who is the flight attendant, she knew what was going on. She's like, we've all been there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I think I was poisoned. Something happened.
Yeah, they ain't going to believe
So the very end of the flight, they're like, okay, sit down, prepare for landing. Well, I start running to the back of the plane. And the guy's yelling, sit down, sir, sit down. But I know my girl's back there, so she knows why I'm coming back. And she's like, I can't let you in the bathroom right now because we're landing. So you got to sit down right here. I'll give you a bag.
Yeah.
So she gave me a bag. It was the most embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
Because when I throw up, man, I'm very, very loud.
You look skinny.
Very loud. Do I?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a long weekend.
You look pretty tan. You look good.
Yeah, well,
but you look skinny.
You get into the higher elevation, that sun just bakes on your head.
So who was somebody fucking? What'd you eat? Would you go to an event? What event was it?
I didn't eat very much. It was at someone's house. I don't want to say where.
Was it a party or an event?
Yeah, it was a party.
Well, you said event, meaning it was like a charity event or something.
No, it was a party that went very, very late, and they're mixing you can't mix certain alcohols, Cam. You can't mix.
You gotta be a big boy and not drink it.
You can't mix vodka and wine. You just can't do that.
Wait, what?
You'll get very sick.
They put vodka and wine in one drink?
I was drinking vodka, and then all of a sudden they're just opening up bottles of wine. I am a lightweight, man. I'll say that.
Crush booze all fucking day, Andy. That's why I was like, what time are you getting here?
Oh,
I need a goddamn know. Well, it's a fucking holiday day, homie. I got shit to do, too.
So Frontier Airlines. Yeah. So we're all checked in. We get to the airport today.
Yeah.
Right when we're boarding, I'm in line to board. All of a sudden, they're like, you need to go to the front counter. You don't have seats to this flight. I'm like, what do you mean I don't have seats? So apparently they downgraded the plane from a big plane to a small plane. And there's like 60 people who are left without tickets. And Cam, like, these people are going crazy. Like, they're screaming at the people from the airline. I thought it was going to be one of these, viral, like, TikTok videos or something.
Don't. Just
I didn't know what was going to happen.
Keep it cool.
So I kept it cool. And the guy, they give vouchers to people. And they say, hey, we'll give you a $400 voucher and your flight's paid for and a hotel tonight
sometimes they don't.
if you change your flight. And 5 people came off, and so he let my family go on there last
that was
second.
quite lovely of them.
But we couldn't sit together. And so now Ivy's crying because she's got to sit by herself. She's 8 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, somebody get up, please, so like my wife can like at least sit with her.
Did you put your foot down like a
Yeah,
man?
I was like, hey, can anybody get up?
See, sometimes I need to be with Andy with this type of stuff,
Security?
Like, this would be like, no, Andy, no, she shouldn't be sitting in between 2 sloppy-ass sons of bitches. Let this little kid sit, like, somebody's got to switch up here. Like,
so a few people got up. Yeah. So Ty and I sat together, and then Laurie sat with Ivy and Chloe.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So it worked out. You had a good time. How was a concert? Fish concert. Guys, just so you don't know, Andy watches one concert and one band only, and it's called Fish. How about that girl? God, anytime a girl gets, like, kidnapped,
where
it's
did this
so weird.
happen?
Oh, fucking Memphis. This billionaire's daughter. She's jogging at 4:30 in the fucking morning in downtown Memphis. It's like, what do you, like, I don't know if I like this. She probably has her headphones in. Some dude creeped up in a goddamn car, had probably somebody inside of it, just snatched her. Came up right behind her, snatched her, threw her in, gonzo, gone. They arrested the guy. We'll see what happens. How old is she? She's a teacher, very wealthy.
Really?
She's probably 38, Andy, I think.
She's a teacher.
She's jogging
at very wealthy.
She's jogging at 4th, and I know there's so many different things going on in the world. I get that. But this kind of weird shit freaks me out. Because I just, like, I know when Kate jogs, like, stuff, and I know I'm way out, and no one's, and you never know.
Hey, you never know. That's
you don't know.
That's where it goes down.
Because I go, you can't have your, we talked about this before, you can't have your headphones in, like, a guy could grab you, you're 100 pounds, throw you in 2 seconds. Andy, you can get kidnapped by somebody.
Well, it could happen.
Christ, you could. They throw you in the back of a van so fast.
So they find the girl, too?
No, not yet.
Oh, really? They found the guy and not the girl?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Andy,
not a good sign. That's terrible.
It's bad. So I didn't mean to be a
Can I just
there.
say this, though? And listen, I mean, it's a terrible tragedy. But, I mean, if she's a millionaire or a billionaire.
I think a billionaire's daughter.
You got to join the club. You don't need to be running around in downtown Memphis.
Have a track in your backyard.
Or whatever.
Why are you jogging at 4:30?
Go to Lifetime Fitness in the morning.
I don't like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
Although you should be able to run without the fear of some guy grabbing you nowadays.
And Memphis has some hardcore shit. I don't know exactly where they're at. I'm still somewhat ignorant on the story. It just popped in my head, and we like to fucking, bring up weird shit.
You've said a lot of things that have been inaccurate recently. I've heard from some quality sources about your definition of like pointing dogs.
Were the dogs?
I don't think you were accurate.
They point their paw and they hook their paw. And they point their nose and their tail.
My fact checker also says like you're wrong about.
I don't know.
You said bears.
Yeah.
Like
what do you say?
If a woman is having her
menstrual, yes, and sharks. So all y'all know, I'll double down on that damn thing. What are you talking about? Are there menstruating?
I was told that may not be accurate information.
Oh yeah, why don't you look up on your phone real quick? Look it up on your phone.
I haven't looked
look
it up
yet. On your phone real quick. While we're here, just do it.
Okay, we'll just go
Who
ahead.
said that? Was he important? Am I allowed to chirp him?
No.
All right, then I'm not going to do it. But he knows what I'm saying. Look it up. Tell him. Okay. Well, I'll tell him right now. Look it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's very bizarre, and I know, like, but it is.
Well, I haven't heard many people
say
that.
They smell it, dude. A shark could smell you from miles away if you got a
really.
Fuck yeah, and a bear. Just so you know.
You see those sharks that just jump out of the water and just like land in somebody's boat?
No, those aren't sharks. Those are whales. And sea manatees are jumping on
boats. What, they just freak out and they just...
No. A whale is just doing his thing, and they're close to the shore sometimes, just feeding away, and it's deep when it cuts off, and they just go, and sightseers will be there, and a whale will pop up and just be like, I am doing my whale thing, but I'm also the biggest mammal in the world, and I'm going to lay, boom, and land right on top of a charter boat that's going to be cut in half, and people are getting freaked out, and some are going to die. So... That's,
What happened around here over the weekend? What happened with the hockey?
Oh, a couple murders, I'm sure.
The Canadian women, they won gold, and like people are freaking out about that guy who like handed out the medals. Apparently,
what do you do? Touchy feely?
Apparently, the women
of
Hockey Canada were
they
weren't happy with that guy.
Oh, God. Were they
saying,
being
hey,
petty?
that guy shouldn't be running Hockey Canada, and then they put him out there as the guy to put the medals around their neck.
Was the guy like make out with somebody or something?
Well, no, it's just been all those investigations.
Then fucking arrest the kid. Whoever did it, arrest whoever. Figure it out. If there's a shit going on, just figure it out then. Like it's there, like you got evidence. Oh no, you don't. Then well, sorry. Do you? If you have evidence, arrest somebody.
I don't know, man. Hey, a lot of these media they're doing great work, but the situation with I don't know enough about what's going on with Hockey Canada, whether that guy should have been on the ice or not, handing out the gold medals.
I don't know. I thought you said that he was hugging the girls and he was touching their ass or something.
No.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't want. You think I'm watching that? I ain't watching that. Everybody's watching Serena. Like I'm not watching that either.
Is she the GOAT?
Of what? People are saying she's not even the best women's athlete.
No, I think she is. I think she may be the best female athlete in the history of female athletes.
There's some swimmers that are good. There's some soccer players and shit. The gymnastics girl that kind of quit last year and still got praised for quitting. What's her name?
She was hurt. Or no, she had mental stuff.
Mental
stuff she was dealing with,
But everybody's like, oh, she's a GOAT. Well, in women's.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean.
No. In women's.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
What's wrong with that?
Well, she's not better than the men. So she's not the greatest tennis player of all time. For women, maybe.
I would say Serena is better than a lot of the men. Maybe
she
not,
is a lot of men.
Maybe
but
not.
She's
the
probably
Pete
ranked
Sampras
like 400.
And the Andre, you really think so?
I mean, that's what the big boys are saying.
Well, dude,
they're being honest about it. She'd probably be ranked 400.
But I don't look at it like that.
Well, how can you not look at it like that?
Well, you evaluate her based on who her competition is.
Exactly. In women's. So she's the greatest of all.
She's the GOAT of women's tennis.
In women's tennis, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what everybody's saying, aren't they?
Well, no.
Are they saying she's the greatest athlete ever?
I think
some people maybe have said
I know
that.
they are. Come on.
Like better than Jordan?
You don't have to act that dumb. But yeah, they're saying that. And I'm like, no, I get women's. Mm-hmm. She's a fucking badass.
I feel like you're saying women's sports isn't as important as the men's sports. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, it's not. Of course I'm saying that. And you know how balance is? No, you know how you find that balance is, well, you just look at the market. Mm-hmm. They don't bring enough money in, so it's not as important.
So it's based on like revenue generated.
Of course it is. Just like the NHL is not as great as the NBA. The NHL is not the greatest as the NFL. The NBA is not as good as the NFL. Nothing's as good as the NFL. NFL is king dick. Then it goes down from there.
Why is that, you think? Because
it's easy to watch in gambling. Mm-hmm. And there's always drama. Somebody's going to be rapey poo. Somebody's going to fucking do something. Somebody's going to kill somebody. Somebody's going to have a big hit in game. Somebody's going to have drama that way.
I don't know if people like that type of drama, though.
No, but it gives...
I don't think people watch the
As
NFL.
a media guy, why do you act so ignorant all the time?
Well, because I don't think...
It's like watching a car crash.
Like when you have an athlete in the NFL commit... a criminal offense.
How many people are going to watch
I don't think it encourages you to watch more. In fact,
yes, it does.
Really?
Let me give you an example. Deshaun Watson, touchy poo weirdo. Fucking weirdo. Signed for the biggest ticket ever. Got his money secured, by the way.
He did.
So he fucking, just like he always, he got everything signing bonus, whatever it is. So he's secure. Scumbag. He's touchy poo. I don't believe a fuck thing he says. I actually believe the women in this case, like you can't believe. So when his suspension's up, guess who Cleveland's playing?
Oh, I know.
No.
Texas.
And what do you think the ratings are going to be in that stupid
Through
fuck
the
game?
roof.
Then there you go.
But that's because it's Deshaun Watson.
Well, that's exactly my point.
And he was their best player against the Texans.
But it's because of
the
drama.
It's no different than...
I'm just saying.
Than when, Baker Mayfield... When he plays against the Cleveland Browns, it's going to be a similar situation.
He's a goofball too, by the way.
I like Baker.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, he just seems like a pretty boy. Like, I'm a guy. Like, I'm the good dad. What's coming down to me? Well, you're not that good.
I think he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, they all do, Andy. I mean, all the quarterbacks do.
Hey, dude, he wasn't like highly recruited. Ends up being the number one overall pick and, Heisman Trophy winner. Listen, he's a success story.
Like I saw on UFO, which could be the most accurate thing he said.
They've got that... that Netflix special coming out with Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football.
I'll watch that, Mug.
I'll watch that.
What did I watch the other day? Damn, besides House of Dragons, I didn't watch it last night. Because Kate and I had people over and we're chilling. So I'm gonna watch that mug. I know a lot of you guys are big fans of that.
No, nobody's watching that.
Yeah, they are.
House of Dragons?
Look at the ratings on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like a top 10 show on Netflix?
No, it's number 1.
Oh, it's number 1. Okay.
Brody, laugh sometimes out loud so that Mike can pick it up, please. Thank you. It's a big time show, Andy. You should watch it. It's pretty cool. And we get in our listeners.
That's like Billy Tibbetts, the big time show.
He talked to me. He texted me the other day.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Is he doing all right?
Yeah. I go, where's my fix? Where's my Billy Tibbetts fix? Because he listens to everything. He said that we were a pussy against the owner of the Dallas Stars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. About, God, what the fuck did he say? Ah, damn. But he's funny about it. I love it. He listens to everything, dude. A lot of people do. It's all good.
Billy Tibbetts.
I go, where's my fix,
Is he not doing videos anymore?
No, he wants us to pay for it now.
Oh, really? Well, he should.
He can
monetize.
Well, you can monetize it in a way. TikTok can monetize it. You have enough views. You can monetize it on YouTube, Andy.
Oh, I'm thinking about starting a TikTok, by the way. I haven't told you that.
What are you going to do, dance?
I don't understand
Your life's not
TikTok.
that interesting,
I
to be
don't
honest with you.
understand TikTok.
Well, it's just
like
that.
Some of these people, I mean, how much effort and time do they put in?
You can monetize it. It's not you. Listen, Twitter's the only... Twitter, you can't monetize anything.
But you know how they like speak, but it's like another voice, like they're lip syncing, like someone else talking.
Yeah,
like how do they do all that?
It's easy. You press a button and you do it. You got to be creative if it works. And there's people that are creative. I'm not into the people.
Like there's this
Let me
one
give you an
girl
example.
I know, and she's got videos every day, and it's like a thought bubble.
Yeah,
over
I know.
her head.
And but she gives you a
she's
thought.
making like facial expressions with the thought
She
bubble,
telling you her
but
pronouns?
She's not talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
That's too much.
No, but there's funny, cool clips on TikTok about people cooking for their wife.
Oh,
and
I
it's
could
cool.
do that.
I love that.
I could do that.
But the girl's like, I'm hungry. He's like, what's up? What do you want, girl? And she's like, I want pork roast in it. And he's just like, ba 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 ba. And it's like she makes it for her hot ass friends, and he's like a fucking pimp. And he's like, oh, thank you. And it's like, I don't know. I like it. I like when people cook. I think it's kind of cool. I like to cook. You like to cook, although you don't cook meat, of course. But
very good cook.
Well, you're good at cooking veggies. You put it in.
I don't think the food in Colorado is very good. I'll tell you that. I mean, it was good.
Well, you go to cheap places.
No, not at all.
Well, your
it's
friends
just a
don't
little overrated. Like people were giving me suggestions. You got to go to this place.
Well, you're in Breckenridge. You're in the Six Flags of Colorado, according to the fan base.
Not really.
Well, that's what they said. Because Andy was on the radio show bragging about going to Breckenridge. And I like Andy. Listen, I talked about you the other day. I had my 2 nephews over. I haven't seen them the first time. They got that Jansen blood in them. They're probably going to be fucking shit kickers. Duh. But I'm like thinking, we were talking about you, Andy, and I'm like, I chirp Andy a lot. I do. And I know people like it, and some people get mad at me like I'm a bully, and I'm sorry.
They get very upset.
I will stick up for Andy more than anybody in this town, and he knows that. I'll chirp on the fucking podcast. We got to entertain. Oh, yeah. But I was talking about you today, and you're doing exactly what my parents did with me and my brother. You take your kids everywhere. You take them on hikes. You take them traveling. You let them learn. They know how to stay in hotels. They know how to do this. They know how to take care. And I see that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And we talked about you, and I pumped your tires.
Oh, there you go. So the nephews, what do they do? Are they wrestlers? Or
they're just born,
Okay. Oh, they were just born.
Yeah, like they're like one's
Who is
8
it? Like
months.
your brothers?
Derek's. My cousin Derek
Well,
and Dana.
They're your cousins.
Derek and Dana Jansen.
Okay, so they had twins?
No. Well, they're not married to each other. Derek and Dana Jansen, my 2 cousins, my dad's brothers' kids.
Okay. So
had kids, and the 2 boys, and their names
those
Cole and
aren't your
Cal.
nephews.
And they're shit. Yeah, they are.
Those are your second cousins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if your cousins have kids, they're your second cousins.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
My bad.
You think they're... I mean, you're not Uncle Cam. I mean,
I'm not.
You're the cousin.
Fuck. Oh, God. I want to be the cool uncle that they're like.
Come over to the house?
Yeah. And the girls stay.
I hope you put shit away, buddy. I mean, I don't know.
No, they didn't go downstairs.
They didn't go down there.
They didn't go to my studio.
To the black wall.
I know. The black hole.
I mean, that's the black hole down there.
Yeah. I'm going to have shit kicking shit down there, baby. And badass stuff. No one's allowed down there. This is where Kate and I are going to get our groove on. I'll have a badass setup, all blacked out like a motherfucker. 80-inch. Got my PS5 set up. I'm going to play some scary
You're
ass
too old for that.
I don't give a shit.
You're too old for that.
I don't give a shit. I'll golf and I'll do my thing, but there's an hour and 2 hours that I'll sit down that mug, turn the lights off. Kate and I will play a scary ass game. I'll get her into it. I'll have some fucking cocktails. The doggies will lay in front of us. We have a cool fireplace down there now that we're gonna We're going to place right there like those fake cool fireplaces. It's going to be freezing cold outside, and the snow's going to come down, and we're going to jam out to a shit-kicking game.
Right.
Or we're going to play golf together on TV.
There is nothing cool about a fake fireplace, dude. I'll tell you that right now. I mean,
you
were
can't
getting
have a real
chirped right now. Oh, my people in Saskatchewan are laughing.
Your people?
You got a fake fireplace?
Oh, in a lot of rooms. I can't have fireplaces. You can't just put a fireplace in all the rooms. I got a double fireplace. I can look through my fireplace in my...
Yeah, but that's not a fake fireplace.
No, that one's real. But in my basement, I like to have a cool... It brings heat out. So
you're
nice.
I always wonder who buys those things.
Well, Kate does.
Like they're like a space heater.
It's my money, but
it's like
Kate
a
does.
space heater.
Yeah,
like,
but it looks
looks
cute.
Nice. Yeah.
You can't chirp that.
You put that in the black hole?
Yeah. It'll look badass. It'll look like, and then we're putting candles like in the corners, like yoink, yoink, yoink. And so like when you walk in, it looks like you're in like a castle room.
So, we stayed in an Airbnb. We stayed in an Airbnb, and I've thought about like investing in Airbnb property. But do you know that there's like a lot of people right now, Cam, that are anti Airbnb?
Why that
Especially in a lot of cities where, Airbnb, the business is thriving and it's huge because it's just driving up the housing market. I mean, like people who rent, for example, like if you need to go rent a house or an apartment or whatever, like you're not in position to buy, you can't find one. And if you do, like it costs so much money to rent because all the people who own property are like, oh, I can just put it on Airbnb and make a shit ton of money renting it out. And so now it costs a ton of money. So like if you like all of a sudden enter the Airbnb business, you may be looked down upon. They may not like you. And people out there they're hating the Airbnb business.
People don't like people that make money, But people don't like people that have an oil company, which are far and few between. But I'm saying like people, whatever. Like until they change how that goes, and what do you do?
I don't know what you do.
I don't know, Andy. We went through this in 2008 too. Like
I just think sometimes.
Well, you take advantage of the market and how it is. Every smart businessman does. Like,
but
what do you do
if it's pricing people out from just getting?
I agree.
An apartment to live in.
I don't want. Do you try to buy a house right now anyway? Now it's gonna correct itself. I think here soon. But what do you do, Andy?
Hey, somebody
not make money off it.
Somebody sent me a video.
It's like
the
if you
other
own
day.
a convenience store and you're paying, you're selling it bread for $8.
Would you keep a gun behind the counter?
Fuck. Jesus, Andy, of course.
At the convenience store?
You ever see these psychos?
Everybody is so happy in Colorado, by the way.
You're right.
Up
but
in the mountains, ain't nobody doing anything crazy.
I don't know about that. But you see the psychos in some of these cities, man. Well, they'll like raid a convenience store. Those two go put it on Facebook and all get together. Psychos. And roll in and take all the lottery tickets and take all the lottery tickets, the cigarettes, and take all the booze and jump and bash the bear. And they just like the owner's like, go ahead, like nothing I can do. I can't kill all you. And they just come in and they swarm and they leave and they're all on camera and they don't get arrested. They just do it. It's like it's a weird thing to do.
People do that in like shopping malls where they come in and they break all the glass and steal all like expensive purses.
They just run in 50 at a time and everybody's just like, what do we do? And they just take everything expensive. And you know what the weird thing is? They take like laundry detergent.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. So they could sell it. It's weird. Laundry detergent, you could turn around.
Is there a market for that?
Well, everybody needs to do laundry. So it's like the scumbags are grabbing laundry detergent and selling it. And it's really weird.
Why? Is it hard to get some?
I don't know.
Because of the
Remember
pandemic?
the toilet paper thing?
Oh, my God. That was so weird.
That was so weird.
Like what? Doesn't even
How many times you wiping your ass a day?
Well, it's like COVID.
Well, if you have kids.
I mean, but COVID like should not have impacted certain markets. I don't quite get that.
It's all the fear of the people. Like you get on these trends that you're scared of a certain thing, and we have to stock up. And I get that when you have kids, man. Like I totally do in certain situations. But the toilet paper thing was
that's
psychotic,
no
like fucking
sense.
Gold dust.
Hey, somebody sent me a video the other day of a bald eagle.
You see that motherfucker
picking up that goat?
Told you.
But the goat got away. I mean, it was just
here's the deal.
That goat was like Barry Sanders. It's just an amazing getaway.
Barry Sanders. Oh, okay.
Barry Sanders is the greatest running back ever.
Can he fall off of cliffs? Here's the deal.
You know who Barry Sanders is?
Yeah, I do.
That goat. For him to get away.
Oh, yeah. Listen, Andy, I told you about that. And somebody sent us and corrected you because you didn't believe me that eagles can kill goats by picking their fucking ass up and dropping them 500 feet off a cliff. But the weird thing is
how much does a goat weigh?
A couple
65 pounds?
A couple 100 pounds, I'd say. They're bigger than you think.
Really?
So, yeah. So these goats, though, They are so athletic. It's the most weird, bizarre thing in the world. You would think that their hooves would just slide off these rocks. They're sleeping on sides of mountains. They're jumping down 20 yards at a time to the angles that you can't even imagine. And they could fall from heights like a cat. If you took a cat, and we're on the second floor here, and if I took my little precious boo-boo, which I would never do, because I love that little kitty cat. She's like 18 years old, and I know she's going to die soon. But if I threw her off this mug right now, Andy, she'd survive.
Well, can I explain why?
Because they just know how to, like, balance themselves and, like, impact, like, when they hit the...
You ever notice this about a cat? Because you can try this out you can try this out now when you go back home. No matter... You can kick a cat off a table.
Don't kick
off. Well, I'm just saying. I'm not going to kick the damn cat.
You kick a cat, they'll die.
I mean,
you throw it off a fucking building.
I don't even understand cat people. I don't even know what the benefit of having.
Why don't you come to my house and see what she does with me?
What does the cat
every
do?
morning when I have to get up at 4:30? No, she follows me everywhere. She'll lay right next to me, just rub her head, and she lays in my lap and stares at me. And anytime I'm in a jam, when I was in a jam with painkillers, I didn't have dogs at the time. Nobody would understand anything I would say to them. My buddies wouldn't get it. They didn't understand. The only person was my mom that understood it. My dad didn't even get it.
Your cat?
I would walk in and I would be going through hell. Like, honestly, like in a dark place where I was like, not, I don't even want to say it. Mm-hmm. And then that little kitty would always put a smile on my face, no matter what.
Well, it's good to have a cat that's there.
Just telling you, man. I don't mean to be like sentimental, but you're chirping my kitty cat, dude. Don't fuck with me on that.
But I'm sneezing already thinking about your cat.
Well, then don't come over.
I'm so allergic to it.
Don't come over.
You got to put that cat away.
I have something to offer for you. Like, if I go to your house, it's like, okay, I'll hang with the kids and stuff.
Oh, Blay, you can hang out with Blay.
Yeah, but like, you come over, we golf, everything's nice. Like, you go on side by sides. We can jump in, like, just whatever you want to do out there. But if I go to your house, so then don't come over and see my kitty.
So if you threw a cat off of like a 3-story building,
it'd be okay.
They landed on their feet.
Yeah.
Every single time.
No.
They always land on their feet.
Nothing's absolute, Andy.
This is absolute.
No, it's not.
Throw your cat off the balcony today and see what happens.
Just look up cats jumping off of high things. They know how to balance themselves.
They land on their feet.
I know.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and they could squeeze through things too. They look bigger than you
My
think.
buddy had a cat with 7 toes that just passed away.
I've had one too.
Dinah. I'll give Dinah a shout out and just passed away.
Thanks. I'm sure the listeners in Saskatchewan are like, fuck yeah.
Dinah.
Tell me about your
7-toed cat.
They like my cat.
Those things exist. Blay, by the way, because we were out of town, he stayed at, like, for the first time ever. I've never put a dog in a kennel.
That's okay to do.
Is it?
Yes.
That's
a
where
nice
they
kennel
get,
where they
like,
have a little a camera that you can watch little Blay hang out with all the
How'd you
buddies.
know about this?
Because that's what I have.
Okay, so he went. It's like a hotel.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And
they have fun.
They're out in it's like the prison yard, basically.
I know. They're fine.
There's like 40 dogs. They're humping each other like left and right. I mean, like where's the human?
It's a dominance thing.
And Blay is just like hanging out. I'm like,
you'd be the one getting humped, right?
No, I don't know. That would not be happening.
You'd be the beta male. The beta male.
The beta.
The beta. Andy's the beta, the hair braider.
Oh my God.
So
I didn't like Blay being in there, though.
It's
to be honest.
okay. Listen, your dog has it good. I chirp you for it, but our dogs have it goddamn good. Go out in the middle of Missouri and see these fucking hillbilly dogs, these fucking Hoosiers.
I thought you'd watch the dog for me. Like next time, like would you?
Fuck no,
dude. Also,
I'm not doing that.
I got friends in Colorado where they it's like they'll watch your dog. Like if you're out of town, or if you have a dog, like you can take it in for 3 weeks at a time or something like that. Maybe 3 months at a time.
Yeah, I know.
Would you take a dog in?
Yeah, I won't. No, I wouldn't.
No,
I'm not gonna. I got my own dogs. I don't need anybody else's. Hey, did you hear about those 10 deaths up in Saskatchewan?
Oh no!
I know. I always bring up Saskatchewan.
I would never have thought that would ever happen.
It was in
the
Cree Nation. Isn't that Berube?
Well,
is that Berube?
No, that was I think Jordan Nolan maybe.
Okay. Oh yeah, Jordan Nolan and Ted Nolan that we had on.
Teddy Nolan, yeah.
Yeah, two guys went on a rampage up there. I know.
Really?
Stabbing, not shooting, stabbing.
Oh my God.
10 people. It's a big time deal.
Hey.
It's a big. It picked up everywhere. Like it's a big
How do you
time.
stab 10 people?
What do you mean?
Like no one could get to him?
What do you mean?
What's he stabbing them with?
Something sharp, Andy.
Like man, but
you want to do some damage to people, like like you go into a church and no one's armed. You're not going to Texas. You go with a knife in Texas, you're getting put down in 2 seconds.
Really?
You go to a church right down the road, and we're in Clayton, a little wealthy part in Clayton, Missouri. You go to a church right down the road here with a knife, you'll get put the fuck down. Not in Andy's neighborhood, but anywhere else.
Yoink.
Somebody's going to fucking put you down. You're in the middle of Missouri. They don't fuck around. They'll put you down with a gun in 2 seconds going with a knife. But he killed 10. What do you mean, dude? Yeah, you should know about that. Unless they go into your house.
Listen, in Texas, you never bring a knife to a gunfight.
We're in Missouri, man. What are you talking about?
Well, in Missouri, don't bring a knife to a gunfight
Holy
either.
shit. Everybody's armed here. You kidding?
Well, listen,
Yoink.
all the people in Saskatchewan, we're thinking about all of them right now.
I always think of Berube, man. Like, he's that Cree nation, you know? Like, if shit went down.
I don't know if he's Cree or not.
All right, well, he's something, which is badass. And if shit went down, Andy.
First Nation.
Like, China invades us. You know, I'm teaming up with some shit-kicking motherfuckers. And Craig Berube would be that guy. Andy, you would go with all the women and children and, like, help them out and stuff. But the shit-kickers would have to take care of business. And this country would be very difficult to deal with. It would.
Ty asked me today on the plane, who's the toughest player ever?
Oh, that's a tough one, homie. Dang D-dog.
Who's the toughest player ever?
Besides your daddy?
It's not about fighting when you say the toughest player ever.
Oh, it's not, Andy? I know. I know. I know what it is. I know what it means. Tell me what it means, then, Andy.
Although, listen, I don't want to make a big deal out of it.
Who do you think, then?
I'll think of it here in a few minutes.
What do you think? I mean, like, you don't have to, the guy doesn't have to be a good guy. The guy doesn't have to be this. The guy doesn't have to be, he's got to be the toughest motherfucker. Like, every night, fuck you, I'm going to get you. Scary. And a hit and tough. You could eat punches. You could knock you. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, like a Wendell Clark or whatever, you know.
Ty
Domi.
Wendell,
Yeah.
Bobby, Twister. Fucking Chief. How about that fucking, you ever see that clip of, it was back when Chief was playing for the Calgary late. Dave Lowry was a captain.
Oh, yeah.
2 seconds ago in a fucking game. And fucking Chief's in the penalty box. And he's pissed at some motherfuckers. I don't know who they're playing. I forgot. And Dave Lowry, with like 10 seconds ago, just takes the puck and throws it over the glass. And so Chief
could come out of the box.
So Chief can come out, and he piss pumps somebody. I love it.
And the guy who he was lining up with was like,
he's like, whatever. And look, sometimes
we gotta get Lowry on.
Then get somebody else in there. Then why? You know this is happening, coach. Whoever the coach was, the opposite team. Why are you putting? You know he's gonna get bagged up. Like that kind of shit's funny, man.
Okay, remember during the season? When Brendan Lemieux, and we love his daddy.
Love his daddy. I like Brendan too, man. He's cool.
Okay, but he and Brady Tkachuk, they got tangled up, remember? Yeah. And he said Brady like gouged his eye, and so then he like bit Brady's finger or something. I don't know.
I'd bite a finger if you're gouging my.
Okay, but nobody knows what really went down.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
I get you.
You know, I'm sure you tell me, man. I mean,
what about it?
What goes? I know from football, you know, what goes on at the bottom of the pile, Cam. You know, I mean, people do all types of things at you. But in hockey too, like I mean, at the bottom of a scrum is and
he's a hair braider.
Are people? Are they? Is it really get that crazy?
I never had that done to me.
Okay.
What's scary?
Okay,
though,
but well, he just came out now. He goes on a podcast and he's like bringing up the incident with Brady from a few weeks ago, and he's like saying, "Hey, like the brothers are all going to the media," and he said he's not going to cry to the media yet. He's bringing it public now.
John Scott's the media, dude, and we're the media too. Which I'm not a journalist, but we're the media, like, you know. So he did kind of complain to it, but like, who cares? Not a big of a deal. It's just not a big deal. Gives a shit. You're getting attention. His hair looked good. He's a cool looking dude. You're fucking playing. He bit your finger. Don't fucking. Did he bite the finger?
He bit the finger.
Whatever. Like this is not that big of a fucking deal. You know, this two brothers again. You're getting attention. Go do your thing. Who are you kidding, dude? You like it too.
And your dad's Brendan Lemieux. You get a lot of attention too.
His dad's Claude.
Or Claude Lemieux.
It's Claude, Andy.
Claude.
He's
Brendan.
Like, come on.
We had a great interview with Claude, by the way. And listen, I always love watching Claude play.
Claude?
He's a winner. He's clutch.
But so anyway, like, I like it because it's good for us. We want people to call people out like the NBA does it and shit. And then MLB sometimes does too. NFL certainly does. You know, NHL guys are kind of like, I don't want to do it. So I like that aspect of it, you know. Mm-hmm. But it ain't that big of a fucking deal.
What's the story with? And I'm just catching up on this one. People are saying that like Matthew Tkachuk wanted out of Calgary because they wouldn't name him captain. Is that? Am I understanding this correctly, Brody? Is that what's being said?
Why would you add? Yeah, I don't know.
Who's saying that? Is that like a former player? Is it like a media guy? A guy who plays for Calgary? Okay, well, Adam.
How about he just want to go to Florida?
How about
so he gets?
How about
yeah? I don't know.
He didn't want to stay in
Calgary. Why would he? You know, sometimes you just don't want to stay in Calgary, which is a lovely city, by the way, and it's one of the most cleanest cities in the world.
I'm sure if Matthew would have signed an extension to stay there, well, sure, he'd probably want to be captain. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys in that room that want to be captain.
Sometimes it's better to be the assistant captain.
Okay, so I get that, but I'm not. But the idea that he like left Calgary or he's not a member of the Calgary today, because he wanted to be captain and they didn't want to commit to him being captain. It's like, I'll tell you this: if Brady Tkachuk said, "Hey, I'll sign and I'll stay 8 years, but you got to make me captain," they'd have that C on his jersey damn quickly.
They have 2 C's on his jersey.
I mean, come on. So
I don't know.
I think there's probably some other reasons as to why he wanted to get out of Canada.
Yeah, man, Canada's kind of a pain in the ass. Trudeau just came out and said, like, you got to get up to date the vax. Even still, like, you got to get, like, your 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to, like,
another
be
vax?
In sync with the populace, I guess. And that kind of turns people off, man. I'm just telling you. You know, so meaning, like, you can't go up there unless you're vaccinated. Fuck.
And I'm not suggesting that he doesn't like Canada or saying, I mean, listen, people love Canada. Everyone loves Canada.
Love the people.
But
the people are awesome.
But politically, we all know that it's probably gotten a little bit
hardcore.
Off the rails, you know?
And so is U.S., man. U.S., we're fucking goofy, too.
Oh, for sure.
You know, going back and forth, if you got to get people around are looking at vaccination like, fuck yourself. Like, I'm not touching that shit.
Another one?
I don't know, Andy. I don't want to get into it.
The next one.
The next one. Listen to his little spiel he had. It's all over Twitter.
I will. I will.
Hey, there's a couple monsters coming over the western part of Africa. What are they? There's a couple monsters coming over here, and they're deforming on the western part of Africa. Ooh. What are they?
Like a wildebeest? A wildebeest?
No, Andy. Think about it. There's something forming in the western part of Africa.
Yeah.
And they're coming our way. What are they?
Well, there's a couple different things.
What are they?
Forming. Well, one's an earthquake.
No.
And the other one is a tsunami.
No.
Well, there's
hurricane, dude.
Oh, the hurricanes, yeah. From Western Africa?
Yes, they always form.
Okay, no one driving around right now is he's talking hurricanes.
Yes, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because the hurricanes, for the most part, they form through Africa, the desert, and they come out of Africa, and they start forming the western part of Africa. And they form, and they create, and they go through the Gulf, and they warm up, and they get all this energy, and they rock Florida, and they'll rock the Bahamas, and they'll rock fucking up the East Coast in South Carolina where you went, and they'll turn to, maybe 2 will combine and turn to a Hurricane Sandy, where there's a northern fucking storm coming, like they did in 2012, where I raised a lot of money in St. Louis fought for Hurricane Sandy. That was kind of cool. But there's some hurricanes coming, and this is hurricane season. And I can't believe you wouldn't put that together. Maybe I didn't define it.
Well,
my bad.
Like, what is hurricane season?
It's September. This is like
it's like during football season.
This isn't tornado season. This isn't flood season for the U.S. At least. Now it's different when you go across the river or the ocean. But now we're gonna get some hurricanes, and there's some people that are gonna fucking get rocked.
Can I give a shout out to college football real quick? You know, I'm not like a diehard college football fan, but you know, at the beginning of the college football season, when nothing else is going on, like you'll typically, at least for me, like I'll pay more attention to it at the very beginning. A lot of teams have their own little traditions that are very cool, man. I mean, that's one thing about college football. Everybody's got their own little, you know, twist and turn and, you know, flair that they bring to the table. You know, this Iowa team, you see what they do? They wave to the children.
Oh, I love it so much. I do. I thank you, Andy, for bringing that up. I put a tear in my eye. I love that.
Who started
this?
They
stop with their gosh dang doing. I'm not even going to cuss. These children are in the window waving to everybody, and the whole stadium. How many people? 80,000? I don't know.
100,000? Who knows?
I don't think it's that big.
Well, a lot of the college stadiums are.
And the cameras and the kids are like, hi, like, oh, God, I love that so much.
But the police are waving. The coaches from the other team are waving. The broadcasters are waving. Every fan in the building is waving.
I know. I saw that goddamn thing. I'm like, oh, God, it makes me cry. I love it. Good for you, Iowa. Iowa's fucking cool anyway. I like their jerseys. They're tough. They're just like, we might fucking beat you, kind of team. I don't even know that much about it.
They got big offensive linemen.
There's a couple cool games that went down. Mm-hmm. That was it Appalachian State and somebody else where they went back and forth. Like,
you were watching that game?
I watched the highlights of everything because I have to keep up with it with the radio show with all the college nerd boys and, I got to deal with on the radio.
What sport fan base is the nerdiest, do you think? In
Baseball.
Is it?
Yeah. Football's cool, man.
Football's very cool.
I like football. I like football coaches. They're fucking cool. I like Ali Marmol. Like, don't get me wrong. I evaluate everything in a weird way.
He's the manager of the Cardinals.
This is just me, guys. I evaluate everything in a weird way,
cool.
In my own way. But I think the baseball fans are the absolute nerdiest. Fucking soccer fans are tougher than the soccer players. So hooligans out in the goddamn good old boys out in England, they'll shit kick each other. And the fancy boys will prance around out there and fall like, oh, God, my knee. I'm good. And that's kind of goofy to me. Soccer, girls, women's is a lot tougher.
Did you see LeBron's?
Basketball fans, I don't know.
You see LeBron's tribute to his little social media post that he made for the GOAT, Serena?
The GOAT.
Dude, he was like talking in circles. He wasn't even making any sense.
Whatever.
2 minutes.
Man, I'm not watching tennis. I don't care if it's men's or anything.
Oh, you don't watch tennis?
I know, it's just not cool to me.
You ever play tennis?
Yeah.
It's a hell of a workout.
Yeah, no, my parents didn't give me an tennis.
I'm starting to do some pickleball right now, too. I told you.
Hey, whatever makes you feel good. And I don't want to, I chirp you, but all y'all out there, fuck, it could be fucking Frisbee golf with your buddies and get your mind. Who gives a shit?
Dude, I love ultimate Frisbee.
I'll play that goddamn thing.
Dude,
Andy,
that's
I'll do
fun.
that. Anything you do. Listen, when I make fun of Andy, I make fun of it just to be funny. But if there's something that you do, it could be it could be a card game with your wife. To get away from something. You play a card game or Risk or whatever and have some wine and take over country. I don't give a shit what it is. You got to find something to do. Now, when Andy does stuff, it's I think he does it because the wind blows that way and he's like, hey, I'm cool.
Pickleball is very popular.
I know it is.
I'm worried about a knee injury or Achilles injury.
You're fragile, dude. Well, it's a physical. If somebody hits you, you might get rocked with a conky, and I can't have that.
Oh my God.
The only person that's going to give you a concussion is me.
Well, you gave me one already.
I know. I can't give you another one, and I don't want anybody else doing it either.
The next one might
set you back hard. It might lose us money.
My career.
It might lose us money.
Honestly, I don't know if a doctor would clear me to even play, in another charity game.
Maybe not. That's why you shouldn't come to these charities.
Very dirty, dude. Very dirty.
Hey, we could post that mug. If you guys want to see...
just don't post the video. Just post the audio.
No. Well, we could post both. You have to see... What, are you going to hide something? No, we'll do both. But you have to put the audio up, though, because you could hear Andy's head hit the sideboards, but it doesn't look bad. But Andy's so fragile. He has a really skinny neck, or there's no muscle tone on it. So when I hit him, his head's like, yoing, 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 and it goes, whoop, pop, and it hits the board. I'm like, oh, God, oh, Jesus, he's fragile, help. And then we had to cart him off and stuff.
I've got my fantasy football draft today.
Oh, that's fun. People always want me to do that, Andy. I'm like,
I love fantasy
football. Can I just watch
Although a lot of people out there are saying they can't play fantasy football and gamble at the same time, that it presents a conflict.
Well, that's
Do you understand what they're saying?
Well, that's why people watch football as a gamble. I mean, that's the biggest reason.
Yeah.
There's no gambling in
football.
So
if it's fantasy football, you're betting on a team or whatever, and then that player may be on your fantasy football team. So now you're rooting against the player that's on your team because you're trying.
I don't know.
That'd be very difficult.
Andy, I have a lot of vices. I have a lot of weird. I've been, an addict, alcoholic, a lot of things. I'm not a gambling dude, and thank God. I don't even gamble. Everybody wants me to do fantasy football.
Hey, that's a real addiction.
They want, no shit.
Gambling.
I know it is, dude. It's the same kind of
thing. So a lot of these dudes that are talking about gambling all the time, do you think they're addicted?
Yeah, a lot of them are.
They don't even know it?
No, they know it.
How do you get over it? You have to go to like treatment.
Look, gambling. I don't really feel sorry for the.
You
gamblers.
have to go to treatment for
I
that.
went through
I'm
hell.
telling you.
I went through hell. My body. You're gambling. You might lose money. And you're like, I was losing money, and my body felt like Satan was in control of my soul and let me on fire. Like the worst feeling you could possibly imagine. So like, I don't really feel sorry for the gambling guys. I kind of do, when they get themselves in a jam, their kids have to deal with it. But I put myself in a financial jam, and I done near killed myself, and it was the worst feeling ever. And if you know, you know, you know.
Well, let me tell you this,
you know,
Cam.
Gambling is like one dimensional.
No, because people.
Again, the money was there with me, and then like the feeling in your body, you're like, Cam, your soul's ripped out.
The gambling, the euphoric high people get from winning and losing.
Yeah, I know.
And then you know what? They lose all their money. They lose their house. They lose their marriage. They lose their family.
No shit.
And they crawl into that same black hole.
Yeah, but their body's okay. They can actually get out of bed without like puking and pissing out of their ass for fucking 14 days.
Except they're very depressed.
No, I know, but that's all combined with the. I know, Andy. I get it. I get the gambling part, man. It takes people's lives. I know buddies that gamble too much. I get it.
Anybody out there dealing with something,
I know.
Reach out to me because I Gamblers Anonymous or whatever it is.
They're not going to reach out to you about that. They know who to reach out to about the fucking hardcore shit, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do get a couple weird messages, Andy, and it's kind of
like what?
I don't know. A guy will ask me a question, and I'll get back to him when 4:45 in the morning when I'm on the toilet. Like trying to get organized to go to, the show, and he'll ask me about something. I'm like, yeah, dude. And I'll kind of just like be like, hey, how many push-ups do you do? Mm-hmm. I'm like, 1 million. And he'll come back and be like, you were funnier when you're addicted to heroin.
Oh,
I'm like, God
wow,
damn.
that's a tough one to hear at 4:45 a.m.
I'm like, I shouldn't have been a dick. I wasn't trying to be. I was just trying to be funny.
Well, no,
I'm trying to be funny. Well, 1 million.
Yeah, but you were being a dick.
I don't think that's that much of a dick.
Damn.
I think that's just like being funny. Like I should have said 1 billion.
Do you think everybody takes their phone on the toilet?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like sitting there.
The cab driver, when we got to the airport, he gave me his phone to plug in the address if we were going to the rental car place. Oh, I don't like touching anybody's phone.
Just put hand sanitizer. You're all right, dude.
Does hand sanitizer work? Because I know you don't think the mask works.
Well, I think antibacterial in your hands does work. That's why you wash your hands all the time. Or else why would you wash your hands?
So the hand sanitizer.
I believe it does, yeah.
Better than soap?
Depends on if it's antibacterial soap. Why you ask me stupid questions?
Isn't all soap antibacterial? No?
You ever find that fluffy stuff for Christmas? A lot of that's just for... I don't know, Andy. Good God.
Big shout out to JT Miller as well.
Yeah, big contract. He's a good player.
He's a really good player. I love watching him play. I feel like he could be great. Like, what's holding him back from, like, being the guy that you see sometimes? Seeing it is having him be that guy all the time, you know? He's really good, man.
I don't know enough about him.
You don't?
Like, I don't know enough about him personally where I could be like, well, if he did more squats, I don't know. He's good. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I could tell him to be like, this is what you need to do to be better. I don't know.
I give Vancouver some credit, though, man.
We're talking about Vancouver. I haven't even talked hockey in 4 months.
Well, they needed to keep his ass.
Yeah, they need something. That's what I do know. Mm-hmm. They need something.
We'll see if this.
They got some players.
We'll see if this Pedersen's going to rebound. Like, who is he?
Yeah, they got some players. They got some D.
Is he the elite, like, mega superstar?
Go be it then.
That he was when he first came into the league, or is he just like a guy who can get really hot?
Well, I'm not gonna go in the corner. I'm just gonna get the puck and shoot it when I can shoot it. No, we know. Mm-hmm. We know that type. Don't ask me what JT Miller's gonna. I don't know, but I do know that Pedersen thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna be Patrick Laine? Like, yeah, maybe I'm gonna like tiptoe around.
Because I like Brock Besser too.
I do too. He's cool.
He's cool, and he's got a hell of a shot.
Then go do it.
He'll score some goals. Hughes. I just feel like Vancouver's one of those teams that, hey, no matter what they do in the offseason, who they sign, who they keep, that they're always going to be the same team.
Well, until they're not.
Until they're not.
You know, the Blues always have to go back there. Mm-hmm. The Blues were that team.
Eventually, you're going to break through.
Sometimes you're just going to fucking win.
Yeah, eventually you're going to break through. All right,
a Canadian team needs to win too, by the way.
Well, who's the first?
And not because of the government. Because of the fucking. I love the people. Mm-hmm. Detroit.
Yeah. Who else?
They might be good.
Detroit?
Eventually.
Detroit's a year or so away.
I'm telling you.
They will become one of my favorite teams to watch this season.
They're going to be good. Who's going to be the first Canadian team to win? Andy? I would say. You're going
to say Toronto.
Ottawa.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
I would say Ottawa. I think they might have enough picks in the system, or kids are just going to be good. And you got a cool cat leading. Yeah. He's going to be cool.
Speaking of the cat, though, we'll see if they can keep DeBrincat. They gave up an awful lot to get him.
What did they give up? Forgot.
Well, first rounder. I think a top 10 pick or something.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
so
he could score. Remember, I gave the
but you gotta keep him.
Remember the 1, 2, 3 count you gave me after I got home from like a trip with my buddy. And we were in. The hell was I? In Mexico, and I got back, and you're like, "Who's the best?
1, 2, 3
Who's the best? DeBrincat."
Oh yeah. Oh, you were getting chirped.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna be different. I'm like DeBrincat, and I said Goudreau, and I don't know what the fuck I said. Who was the other kid? Oh, the Nashville. Was it Forsberg?
Yeah, Philip Forsberg.
DeBrincat, and I just said DeBrincat.
Goudreau.
I said DeBrincat, Goudreau, Forsberg, and then of course Andy has to always find things to like bring me down with. I chirp him on here, but when we talk privately, I always pump Andy's tires up. Always do. I always tell him good things. I do. On here, I just have to be whatever. People want to hear that, I guess. But then, like, he just tells me that GMs were calling him and saying, "Thank God Cam's not part of any team system." Staff. I'm like, fuck. You're fucking joking.
It's a matter of opinion. Kind of fucked up.
I'm just saying.
It's an opinion.
Yeah, but I was just like, like that was kind of.
I think most people probably would take Goudreau.
That was mean, though.
A little bit. You ever thought about going into a front office?
No.
Anybody ever ask you to go into a front office?
I say it'd be a pretty good like pump up coach. I think I'd be good in like a training camp situation.
What about like X's and O's?
I mean, if we watch a game, you could see stuff. I don't know, Andy.
Could you pre-scout like another team's like power play or PK?
I don't know.
Say this is how you attack that PK.
I don't know.
I think we should do some like film study.
At least I'm not like saying I don't know. I know how to evaluate players though. Yeah, I could see talent in people. I think
like the bad body language,
and aggressiveness, and I could tell, and I think I'd be good at
if it's genuine or not.
Yeah, and I think I'd be good at talking to kids and making them feel confident. I think I can make kids feel really confident in a good way, not in a cocky, in a good way,
right?
Like a healthy
make
way.
them feel good about themselves.
Like you bear down on this. Stick your nose, brace yourself.
Well,
in the corner.
Listen, I'm about ready to go through a wall right now.
I'm good at that stuff, but you want to break down a power play? I don't know, Andy. I don't know. I watch hockey because I love it and I love the Blues. And we talk about it every day. We got a 3-hour show. You come on it. Like we're on the radio every fucking day. We have to entertain people in St. Louis, and we love doing it. So you gotta know. I gotta know everything about that.
Right.
I gotta know everything about the Blues.
Yeah.
Like every fuck thing. And if I don't, I look like an asshole. Now, do I need to know about JT Miller? Not really, unless that has something to do with what's going on here. I gotta deal with the Cardinal stuff. There's still fucking now the soccer is gonna be going on. We gotta know about that, Andy. There's a lot of shit.
I mean.
Yeah, but you did.
To an extent.
I can't sit out. Yeah, but
nobody's tuning in to get your breakdown on the soccer team.
But you still got to be somewhat knowledgeable on something.
Just follow it.
Because sometimes you got to interview a guy that's their coach. You got to have him on your show. Like it's relevant. And I got to know something.
I interviewed the coach
because if somebody interviewed me, they don't know what they're doing. I know when they don't know, and they look like assholes.
Just do your research.
I'm just saying. That's all.
Hey, the coach is very cool.
Is he?
Oh yeah, I think he's from like.
Would be cool, I think. It'll be awesome.
It's not Australia. What's the country right next to it? Beautiful.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. I think he's from New Zealand.
Yeah, homie. Same kind of accent. South Africa is the same kind of accent as Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah. Speaking of coaches, Jared Bednar is on this edition
of
the Cam Strick Podcast. What are you going to say?
All right, just one thing.
He's cool as shit, huh?
Really cool. Very intimidating for me to get any questions.
Is he? Oh, yeah. You get over this.
Well, can I explain something, Andy?
Yeah.
God damn. You're really good at this. Because Andy's so good with these coaches. Like, he knows when to go. He knows everything about them. He knows how to tie in players with stuff. And I got to pump Andy's tires up when need be. I bring him down, but I'll pump him back up. I get that. But there was one time during this interview where I felt like I didn't come off good. And I respect Jared. But he goes, and then Robbie Ftorik's involved too, so I got to throw this out there.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
so,
I knew afterwards the way you explained it, what you were trying to say. Because, listen, Jared Bednar coached in the minors, both in the coast as well as the American Hockey League. So he had the privilege and he loved it. Like being able to tell a prospect or a player that, hey,
such a good feeling.
You're getting called up to the show.
100%.
So Cam's like, did you ever
want me to explain
pull a prank on somebody? And he's like, no, I would never do that. And I'm thinking, Cam, are you asking him if he would call somebody in and be like, hey, you're going up to the show, and then be like, I'm just kidding. No, you're not. You're not getting. I'm like, oh my God, dude, what a dick move that would be.
I'm an idiot.
That's what you asked him.
I know, but here, can I explain what I meant? Mm-hmm. Because he thinks I'm an idiot, and that sucks. But I didn't have time to explain myself. But my story is actually kind of infamous because of I told on Spittin' Chicklets on how I got called up.
It's a great story.
It's a great story.
Yeah,
it's hilarious, and it's But Robbie Ftorek called me, and he said I wasn't playing in the American League game.
Right.
And my parents were right next to me in the hotel room, and I'm like, oh fuck, Robbie, oh God, I'm like, why? I just thought this guy had an assist. He goes, no. Because you just got called up and you're playing MSG tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So he was the one that told you.
Robbie did.
It's not Lou that calls you.
No, Robbie called me.
Okay.
And said I was getting called up.
Do you remember that conversation?
Fuck yeah, my dad called.
Because you don't remember very well.
I told the story many times.
You don't remember things from yesterday, the day before, and you remember this. I'm glad you remember this story.
More things than you think.
Okay. So where were you?
I was in a hotel room with my parents. Remember that. Do I got to tell the story over?
No, because
it's remember that I got my phone.
Yeah.
And then I called Lou, and then my parents were in town, and Lou was pissed at me, and I thought I was getting sent down, and I went and fought a big guy at Springfield or whatever it was, and I had a nice assist, and I was crushing guys, and I was in a hotel with my parents eating pizza, watching the Devils on TV. We're playing the Rangers, and they had a back-to-back, and the next night they were playing the Rangers again at MSG. Ryan Hall was crushing guys. And I'm down and out, although I had an awesome game. My parents were pumped up. We're eating pizza. And my dad looked at me, and he goes, see that, look at Ryan Hallwick's crushing guys. He goes, you're going to get called up. And I go, you don't think.
Because Hallwick was playing for the Rangers.
Hallwick was playing for the Rangers, crushing guys on the Devils. My dad goes, you're going to get called up. I'm like, you have no idea. Lou's pissed at me because stupid fucking prank phone call.
Yeah.
It's just embarrassing. He doesn't deal with that shit.
No.
So dumb. Motherfuckers. I actually look back on that and think fuck all you for doing that to me, Andy. That's I might have we might have to invite them to fantasy camp and I might have to bag them all up.
I think it's hazing.
Wow. That was
was hazing.
Not good. I could get fucked. Anyway.
You ever get hazed?
No. Not at all. Fuck no. Anyway, so that happened, the whole phone call prank thing. And so I'm sitting there, my dad just said, you're going to get called up. And I look at him and go, no, I'm not. And then my phone rang, and it was Robbie Ftorek. And we were playing the next night somewhere, and he goes, hey, you're not playing tomorrow night. And I'm like, fuck, God, I'm getting sent down, da-da-da. And he goes, shut up. He goes, no, he kind of calmed me down. You know how it is. He was cool as shit. I love Robbie. He goes, no, you're playing the MSG tomorrow.
Why couldn't you know that that's what he was going to, that's why he was telling you? Weren't you oh, here comes the news.
No.
He's telling me I'm not playing tomorrow night, and now he's going to tell me I'm getting called up.
He met my parents the night before. After the game, when we played Springfield, he came up to my mom. I remember it vividly. He comes up to my mom, scared my mom. My mom and dad were talking to somebody else. Scared my mom. It's kind of weird.
Was she wearing a Jansen jean jacket?
Yeah. I don't know. They're probably wearing, who knows?
You know the jean jackets?
No.
All the wives in the, they all wear the jean jacket with the name and the number on the back.
Yeah, Robbie kind of freaked my mom out. It was funny. And then so I kind of saw a cool vibe with them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I was so bummed out about the prank phone call that was always in my head, although I had a cool game that night. So when we went back to the hotel, my parents were in town watching me play. It just all worked out perfectly. It all worked out. So we all drove down after that happened. I'm so happy. I'm calling everybody, calling all my buddies. And you're playing at Madison Square Gardens. And I remember going into... So they were staying in a hotel that night. So we drive down. I'm in my sweatpants, cut-off T-shirt. I look like a fucking...
You dress the same way now.
Hoosier. My mom and dad look like Hoosiers. from fucking middle, hey, like sweatpants, like McDonald's everywhere, like whatever. Oh, no. Well, we're just like, go. I'm hungry. Like, who cares? Let's do whatever. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not like, I gotta get vitamins in me. No, like, let's get some food. I'm fucking starving. I was drinking beer, Mm-hmm. And so we go down and we go to this hotel room, or the hotel where all the players are staying. Because they stayed the night before they played the Rangers. Very bizarre. They didn't like it. It is what it is. But we go there, and I walk in, and they were eating. And everybody was wearing a suit and tie, eating.
And you're wearing sweatpants.
Sweatpants. And I go, hi.
And like a FUBU jersey, probably.
And Richard Tkachuk, in front of everybody, looks at me and goes, huh, this is our savior? And I go, what does that mean? Savior? Like Jesus or something?
Well, basically, you're saving the season.
And everybody's like, and don't even talk to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
Well, the way you walk in.
I walked in like, hi, sweatpants Hoosier. And
that's how you make a first impression.
Is this our savior? I'm like,
Did you have bleached blonde hair back then, too?
No, not at that point. Anyway, everybody was cool at the end,
Cam, I was dealing with severe nosebleeds this past week.
So was that story not cool enough for you? You want to talk about your nosebleeds now? I'm sorry about that.
I mean, just severe nosebleeds.
What are you doing? Much of blow?
No, just being up in the altitude.
Oh, shit.
You know that'll do it to you.
Yeah.
When you get up in the altitude.
I haven't been up there in a while.
Yeah. You got to get up there. It's very refreshing for the mind and the body and the spirit and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yoink.
Okay. Let's get to Jared Bednar. Great conversation, man. He's got an amazing story, too. I always think about that it's the players who grind it out, and they're the success story.
Yeah, he grinded pretty good, man.
Not every coach played in the NHL and got there, and therefore, started as like an assistant coach in the NHL and worked their way up that way.
Everyone.
This guy had to, truly prove himself at every level, including the NHL, that he is the guy and that he's worthy of being a guy who can lead an NHL team.
Seems like a cool cat.
Very cool.
I know. Like a hard, just work for me.
He's got a lot of personalities on that team too, man. You got to manage a lot of different things.
Yeah, he does.
So I give him a lot of credit, man. We had a great conversation, so people are going to enjoy this.
And that's not like hard. It's kind of hard for just go on a podcast for an hour and a half like that. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Good job, Andy. Again, by the way.
Great hair,
these guys.
Jared Bednar.
Fuck, he's handsome.
I mean,
he's just he probably walks
who
around.
Who gets more attention?
Yeah,
him or Landeskog.
All the women folk at fucking the nice grocery store that they go to in the wealthy part of Denver, they're all like, "Oh, there he is! There he is! He comes in here at 11 o'clock. Let's get here. Let's go to Starbucks first. We'll get." Oh yeah, not that he does anything. I'm just saying, like he just trust me. The women folk probably flock to him.
Landeskog or they probably what?
Him too. Flock to him.
Oh, flock to him. Yeah, Landeskog or Bednar.
Oh God, Landeskog walking through.
EJ was having he had the cup all over Denver when I was there too.
I like EJ.
He's like on a slip and slide.
I like EJ. I like Ray Bennett.
Yes.
EJ and Ray Bennett. Eric Johnson, I had such a good time with him. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
Naz.
What?
Nazem.
The victim.
Oh God! I mean, you have to say that again. Nazem Kadri.
If I'm Nazem at that point, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about those. What, the nerd boy, the 13-year-old in the basement saying he's gonna kill me. Oh, whatever. We all get that shit. I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm gonna break my hand and I'm gonna score another goal top shelf and own everybody. I'd rather him just say that and be like, I looked at Twitter and things were bad. Well, no shit. And then, the death threats,
I know some players.
They arrest somebody.
Who had some threats coming at them too.
No shit. Thank you for
that. They didn't go public.
I know
with
who
it,
you're talking about.
I will say that.
Of course they didn't.
Yeah,
because they know what's up.
But that's another example. Okay, arrest that man? Whoever
arrest him.
Arrest him.
Where they at?
Doing it?
Oh, the 13-year-old. No shit, you can't arrest him because it's a child being a dickhead.
But it's like all the media reports.
Now, if it's a real guy,
did something terrible, the worst thing you've ever heard ever.
If it's a real guy,
then
fucking arrest the motherfucker. Like you could tell in 2 seconds.
But they come out with these investigations like, hey, so and so happened like 10 years ago, and then
the good versus evil, Denver good, St. Louis evil. Like good.
Let's get the bad people,
and you know what?
Get them out of here.
Thank you. Jared Bednar played that whole thing cool too. He could have been like, this is tough on Nazem. No, he's like, no, you know why? Because he knows fucking Chief. And they respect each other. He didn't need to do it. You know,
and he's got that long history with the Humboldt Broncos too, man.
Dude,
he does a lot of work with that golf tournament that
he knows real shit. Exactly,
he
Andy.
does.
He knows real shit.
Yeah. From Saskatchewan.
He's a badass Saskatchewan.
He used to fight, dude. Put up a lot of pims.
Put some pims up, dude. He's a real cool cat.
He'd dust you probably. Well, back in the day, he got a long reach.
I don't know about that. I like to be humble, but you told me I'm going to fight Berube. I'm like, okay, that'd be tough. Mm-hmm. You know, Twister's tough. Chaser, I'll go toe-to-toe with. I wish I would have fought Chaser in his prime and my prime. It would have been an awesome 3-minute fight, I think.
I'm going to go work for Chaser.
Who do you think? What's that?
In the real estate industry.
Yeah, do it. Team up with him. I want you to make money. You know, a lot of people, like, when your buddies, like, you jealous, like, you compete with, like, with my friends, like, I want them to be wealthy.
To do well.
I want them all to be fucking wealthy as shit. I want Andy to make a fuck ton of money. Goddamn right. I want his kids to be doing whatever the fuck they want. My buddies, like, shit, you know what? They're going to invite me to go hang out in their toys. They want me to make money, too. Damn right. Be jealous of people.
Cam, who brings
Have fun with people.
Who brings us the Cam Strick Podcast?
What do you mean?
Who brings us the Cam Strick Podcast?
Hair Club.
Hair Club. And
Why are you quizzing me on
hairclub.com, baby.
It's a holiday day, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Kind of goofy today.
I'm on 2 hours of sleep.
Man, I mean, you know.
When Cam travels, we have to wait till like 6 o'clock at night.
God.
And then he's not even in position to do the conversation.
It's a fucking holiday Monday, dude.
Hairclub.com/Cam Strick. That's our landing page. 800-279-7878, baby. Use that promo code Cam Strick. It's going to save you a bunch of money. You sign up for your first consultation. That's where you do it. Right there on our landing page, hairclub.com/Cam Strick. Again, remember the 3 R's: restore, replace, and regrow that hair.
Get that hair going.
It's for women, too.
Oh, God, yeah, dude. A lot of women.
A lot of women listening to us right now, or no?
You know what? To be honest with you, it's more difficult for a woman when that goes.
Oh.
I would say.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
I think you're right.
To walk in there?
I know I'm right, actually.
To walk in there? Yeah, it's not easy.
No. Just to go through the situation.
I know what's going on.
A man could be like, I'll shave my fucking... Women, it's like...
No, it's tough.
It's all good.
Very tough.
Get it done. It's right there.
But this is a solution that we're presenting, though. It's a solution. Car Shield, they bring a great solution, too. Car Shield and carshield.com. Again, you never know when something's going to go down in your car. It could be really, really bad. Like your brakes go out, but it gets worse. Computer, starter, engine, alternator. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. The best part about Car Shield is that you get to pick where you have it serviced. Like you pick the mechanic, they hook you up with the rental car. It's a very small monthly fee, and that'll save you lots of money down the road, Cam.
Dang D-dog.
Car Shield and carshield.com. Use that promo code CAM, which I know is very embarrassing, but it's going to save you money. That's why I tell you to go ahead and do it. 800-857-2481. Again, that promo code is CAM, baby. CAM. It'll save you money. I know it's embarrassing, but you got to go ahead and do it and put some extra money in your pockets. Again, 800-857-2481. All right, getyourwaggleon.com. That's the Waggle Golf email address. If you want to look good on the course, which I've gotten a lot of compliments, Cam. I'm going down to the...
backyard?
I'm going down to the Ascension Charity Classic this week. I'll probably wear some Waggle Golf stuff down there.
That.
You want to come with me and sit in the box? I got box. We can go. I got passes for the box.
Where's that, Belle Reve?
No.
Where?
Norwood Hills.
Nah.
No. Oh my God.
It's
a great event. Brings a lot of money to our community. Chief's going to play out there with Ozzie Smith and Ryan O'Reilly.
I know.
In the charity portion of it.
Yeah, I know.
And then you have.
No, it's cool.
And you also have Lee Trevino.
Listen, I'm not denouncing the event.
Nancy Lopez.
Okay.
I'll give a shout out to my boy Nick Ragone who puts this thing on with Ascension.
You know, shout out. I'm not saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
No, I just don't want to leave my house.
I understand that. Yeah. Yeah, you said that before.
Well, I mean, if it's a badass concert, that's a different story. Yeah, I'll get a driver.
Yeah. If your buddy gets you tickets, and you sit
whatever.
In his box.
Well, isn't that how it goes?
That's how it works.
Buy tickets somewhere?
Hey, getyourwaggleon.com. But Cam,
how'd you go to a concert this weekend? How'd you get those tickets? You buy those?
A friend of mine did.
Oh, there you go.
Well, he I don't know.
Well, what?
He lives there. I don't know. He just took care of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we live here.
Yeah.
And they hooked me up here.
When you have your waggle golf,
Yeah.
sure, I describe the emotion that you have.
I did a post this weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. No, my wife did with me. I did.
You're always in the passenger seat of the golf cart. Like, drive your own golf cart.
No, I'm not.
Kate's driving you.
No, that's the camera angle. You goofball.
Is that what it is?
Yes, you goofball. Kate's driving me. You're funny.
GetYourWaggleOn.com. What's your favorite shirt that they gave you?
I like my dinosaur one because I'm obsessed with dinosaurs. And if you guys ever want to go on YouTube, by the way, and look up how the dinosaurs died. It's about an hour long.
How'd they die?
It's very... Chicxulub asteroid, dude. It's the size of Mount Everest.
Really?
Happened 67 million.
And it killed all of them just like that?
It killed everything besides... Why do you think mammals came out? Because they were able to bury. Alligators were okay. Now, I don't think all the mammals came out afterwards because all the big boys died. Chicxulub hit right there in Mexico in the ocean.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it sounds really crazy.
Look it up. Andy's an hour. Watch it with your kids. Do they like dinosaur stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, to show that. It's interesting as shit. And so they find the remnants of the asteroid in all these different rocks all over the world, especially in the U.S., in Utah. So they'll have this like side of the cliff. Yeah. We'll have this remnants of where this ash came down that boiled upon everybody. Anywho.
Will you, like, when Boo, like, I don't want to talk about when that time comes, but do you normally keep the ashes?
Jesus,
like, do you believe in that? Because they can do a lot of different, like, displays and stuff like that.
When that little precious kitty dies, Andy, I will be a disaster beyond belief.
You call in sick that day?
That's my precious little angel. She is.
We will have a tribute show to Boo.
God, she's been everywhere. She's been on NHL Network. She's been on NHL.com. She's huge.
Doing what?
She's huge in Canada. She's my precious little kitty Boo Boo. I love you, Boo.
We'll keep that. I mean, that'll.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the same. We'll give that. I'll play that.
Give her away?
I'll play that for Boo.
I could sell her for a lot of money right now.
You
she's
could
so
not.
Popular.
Oh, really?
Oh, she's the most popular kitty, probably in Missouri.
How much could you get for her?
I don't know yet.
No, like, what's a good starting price?
1.5.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
If you give me 1.5, I'd hand that precious cat away.
I'd consider
it. It'd be 1.5.
Do you think
to be honest,
most people out there who have pets, if they said, hey, and they love their pets, but if they said, I'll give you $1.5 million for it right now, would they give their pet away?
Oh, God, that's a good question, Andy. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, how much do you really love your pet?
You know I love my precious... Oh, God, I don't know.
You'd give that cat up.
The cat, because she's 16. Oh, God. Oh, God.
GetYourWaggleOn.com.
What did 1.5?
1.5.
Oh, mother, tax free. So I'm getting 1.5 million bucks.
1.5
to secure a lot of things. Like, I know that's not a lot of money, but it is for that little baby who's 16 who gave me so much.
What about
enjoyment.
the dogs?
We're not talking about them.
3 million.
Don't.
3 million.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
1.5 for each.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Andy.
Come on now, dude. You only and you have 5 minutes to make the decision.
Oh my God!
And they take the dog right then and there, and you get the check for $3 million.
No,
really?
I'll work for my money. Fuck that. They bring me too much joy.
Blay probably
you would do it for you do it for $30. You get your money back. You probably cost $2,000.
Get your waggle on, man, from our friend Travis Baker. Not a cake eater.
I didn't mean it like that.
Very good person.
That doesn't mean you're a good. It just means that you came up kind of well.
Bellman and Bellman.com. Speaking of good people. Danny Bellman.
I need a shit kicker. Dale. Listen, I need a shit kicker.
Kenny.
I ain't playing no mo. I need a shit kicker, and I need it now.
What kind of trucks are they driving on that Dragon show?
What?
That Dragon show you're watching?
That's a dumb question.
Why? They don't drive trucks on that show?
Dumb question.
What period of time is that?
I mean, all y'all out there listening, like...
What period of time is that?
I don't mean to be mean to Andy. I love it. I love his family. So cute. Like, anytime Andy posts something, I always look. Because I love his family's adorable.
Did you like our weekend? You like our weekend pictures?
Yeah. You ate ice cream and there's stuff in the background. I was hoping you wouldn't go on a long, like, soliloquy of a...
I went to an Asian ice cream place, and they make rolled ice cream.
I know, I saw it.
They put it
on
like
at the Jersey Shore.
They put it on like a stone.
I know. Andy, I know.
And you mix it, they chop
but
it all
I thought you were going to be like, oh, I saw a bear again. I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. It was a tree stump.
Saw some chipmunks. And
Your kids look cute.
Thank
they
you.
Look
and
goddamn cute.
people around me
Goddamn cute.
had seen a moose or two.
Yeah, I know. You gotta watch out for that. They'll kill you.
They will, but apparently I was talking to somebody who said they got very close to the moose, which I know is very dangerous.
With that.
But I was
be ignorant to the
looking
animals.
for the moose, man.
They'll be ignorant to the wildlife.
I didn't see the moose.
Because the good old boys up and you know where will look down upon you.
Yeah.
Don't be ignorant to shit. Don't be ignorant to animals.
Bellman is located
or
where?
I'll shit kick those goddamn coyotes in my backyard.
Oh, God. That's a coyote.
They're chasing dogs around here.
Where's Bellman located?
In Chai, Missouri. And I want that Buick.
What is it?
Troy.
That's
what the good old boys call.
Troy, Missouri, baby. They got the Buick GMC on one side of the street. On the other side, they got the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Yeah.
I was in a
Yellowstone,
Jeep
homie.
Gladiator.
You're getting confused. That's Yellowstone.
Yeah,
they
I
got
know,
the shit kicking dualies.
I didn't know if they had it on the Dragon Show.
No, that's probably based in the, I'd say the 900s.
Oh, really?
You know,
okay.
900.
I'll be sure to check that out. You know what else I'll check out?
You don't check anything cool out, Andy.
Oh, by the way, I was in a Jeep Gladiator this weekend, too.
Oh, you were at that mug? That's
no,
cool.
I went to the concert in a Jeep Gladiator.
Was that? Did you get your mind right? What do you mean?
I had a great time.
You stay up all night?
Well, the show doesn't end until like 11:30. You can't get out of there till
what time did you go to bed?
I'd say 2-ish.
All right.
Wasn't bad.
You're all right then.
Wasn't bad.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. Now
I'm just asking.
Now the night before I left, I was up till 4 here in St. Louis. I know. I know. I haven't done that in so long.
I figured like the the concert thing. Never mind. Fuck. I'm trying to get something out of you.
Bellman, baby. BEHLMANN. All right, Sparks Skate Sharpener. And
can I have one of them mugs?
Yeah.
And donate it to somebody?
Well, hold on. Can I sharpen your skates for you? Give me your skates. I'll sharpen them. So get your Sparks and do it today. Now, Cam, you can choose which hollow you want, if you want like a 5/8, if you like a 1/2 inch. 3/8, 5/8.
Half sometimes.
Half is kind of like the standard.
You could cut pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have
good edge work. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not cutting anything anyway.
You don't think so?
I mean,
dude, this Spark skate sharpener.
And you can skate around the ice when they just first see it, and like you wouldn't even know that's my skate on it.
Oh, really? There's no lines.
There's no lines. Looks perfect,
dude. The Sparks, though, and this is the preferred skate sharpener of NHL teams. Just so you know. Like, just about every NHL dressing room has the Sparks inside their dressing room. You go to any pro shop nowadays, what are they using? They're using a Sparks.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to do, man.
Very easy. You press a button, Cam. If I can set it up, anybody out there listening can set this thing up, too.
Yep.
They ship it the same day you order it. They got plenty in stock, so you get this thing very, very quickly. It'll save you money in the long run. If you're a men's league player, if you have kids who are playing, you have daughters who are playing, whatever it is, man. You truly want to take advantage of this. And when you use our promo code Cam Strick, it'll save you more money than what you would save on Black Friday or Cyber Monday.
Oh, God. Disaster days.
You ever go to Black Friday?
Fuck no.
Like, you'd line up outside the Target, the Best Buy.
I don't have kids.
Like midnight?
I don't have... Can't I just do whatever we want kind of thing,
Yeah, okay.
And we have to give stuff to other people. But I'm not doing that.
Get your Sparks, though. SPARX. Keep checking that out. You have any questions on it in terms of the setup? I mean that and all that. Just reach out to me. I'll let you know what my experience has been like. But I've sharpened my skates on this a couple times.
But he didn't toe pick 15 times.
And my kid is sharpening his skates with it, too.
Yeah, and it's easy. Listen, if you have a team, you're on a team, like you could buy one for a team. Like you go on these road trips. Like that's the hardest thing to do is like, everyone's like, well, I got fucking chunks on my skates.
Take it to the tournaments.
I know. It's you just pack it away and then put,
And I'll tell you this. Some people out there, they start their own skate sharpening business. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, fuck yeah.
They do it out of their garage, whatever. So, they're charging $6 a skate sharpen at the hockey shop. You do it for $5, $4 out of your garage, man. It's a little business that you have going on. So, Sparks Hockey, be sure to check that out. Use that promo code Cam Strick. And let us know how your experience has been with Sparks, SPARX. And use that promo code Cam Strick, like I said. All right, we got to get to Jared Bednar, the head coach of the Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. Bedsy with us now here on the Cam Strick Podcast. Enjoy. The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now up to the interview.
Hello.
Jared.
What's going on, fellas?
What are you doing today? Are you looking at? Are you on the beach? Or are you at the mountains? Where are you at today?
Yeah, really.
I'm down the beach way.
Oh yeah.
Look at you,
South Carolina.
Could you imagine, Cam? This guy, South Carolina or Colorado?
I know.
I mean, it's like your wife must love you.
Yes.
She's like, thank you, Jared.
You picked well.
She's like, wow, who knew hockey coaching was so great?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of best of both worlds, you know. Get the beach, get the mountains. You know, two good cities. So.
Man,
awesome.
I was down in South Carolina this summer. I'm actually headed to Colorado tomorrow, you know. So listen, two of my favorite spots. But like, where are you at in South Carolina? Are you on the water?
I'm in Charleston, Isle of Palms. I'm not on the water, but it's I'm about a block and a half from the beach.
Let me ask you something. When you're golfing, which I'm sure you do, like, are you kind of worried that a gator's around? Do you have dogs? Do you think about that?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, when you get out on the course, you see them. I mean, you got to, you know, if you're getting around the ponds, I'm usually either in the middle of the pond or on the other side in the other fairway, so I don't have to worry about it that much.
Yeah. I know. You got to be careful of those gators, though, man. I saw those signs. Hey, do you see Torrey Krug and David Krejci floating around Charleston? It's like a big hangout for NHL players now, you know.
Yeah, it's starting to be discovered down here. You know, it's starting to it's been booming here for a few years now, you know, especially with the COVID thing. I think it's starting to take off again.
I know, but man, hey, listen, when you live in a spot like that and you've been there forever, it's like a secret. You don't want to let the secret out, Jared.
Well, we just did, Andy,
you know?
so you know. Everybody's going to be moving there now.
You don't want to let people know to move out there. But, hey, listen, you win the Stanley Cup and, like, you're celebrating. I mean, like, does it ever wear off? I mean, describe the summer for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's been busy. I mean, you know how it is. If you play late, the summer's short, and it seems like every summer you have a handful of obligations that you've committed to, so you hammer those out. And for me, I kind of got word right away that if I wanted the cup down in Charleston, as they're kind of working through all the logistics, that it would have to be almost immediately, which was the following Wednesday after the draft, or it would be late August, and my kids are all back in school in Colorado and Tucson and everything. So I said, yeah, we'll do it right away. So I rushed home, got ready for that party. My wife was planning it, and had a big get together out here on the island, and brought it back to Charleston and shared it with the hockey community here in the morning. And then I have a Humboldt Bronco Memorial Golf Tournament that I started a few years back after the accident. Yeah. I basically hung around for a little bit here for about a week, and then flew back to Denver, drove to Saskatchewan, and started planning that tournament and party. I was fortunate enough that I got the cup again there for another day because it was up in Saskatchewan, so I had a second party there. And nice. Yeah, once that was all done, I basically came back here, and the family all took off and went to Denver and are back in school. So I'm just here by myself, hunting and fishing and golfing every day, trying to get away from the game for a little bit before I head back next week.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now you got my interest with the hunting.
Oh, yeah, like Andy hunts. He has no idea what he's talking about. So what do you hunt? What do you fish? What kind of boat you got? What kind of setup you got there?
So I have a boat, which is, you know, the other side on the intercoastal, couple blocks from my house. I have a center console 25-foot fishing boat, and I do all inshore fishing. So redfish is the big one, right? The spot tail bass, red drum, whatever you want to call it. That's the one you're after, and then trout and flounder as well. So I try to get out on that as much as I can in the summer. And then white-tailed deer season here opened August 15th and runs to January 1. It's a long season. Lots of deer.
Oh, yeah.
Not as big, but, so I got a couple buddies with properties about an hour and a half out of town in the bush, and we head out there on the weekends and see if we can get something. And then, obviously golf, you can go anywhere here in golf. Every corner's got a golf course and they're all nice. So, that'll keep you busy for the summer.
You got it good. Hey, do you live in the same house in South Carolina that you had when you were coaching in the coast? Or did you get a bigger house, Jared?
I built this one when I was in the American League, or my wife built it, I should say. She did all the work. I was kind of gone. End of my ECHL career, coaching, and started American League. I think I've had this house for almost a decade now. But I got into real estate down here when I was playing, and when I was an assistant coach, I got some rentals and kind of built a little stable of houses that I was renting out for years. And as I got moving up to the American League as a coach, we started selling them off. And my wife found this lot over here on the island, and we sold a whole bunch of our houses and then built this one. So it's been home, and I don't plan on leaving the island. It's real nice and peaceful down here. You got the beach, you got the fishing, you got everything you want. And kind of right here, and it's close to town. So I like it.
Yeah, no, I love hearing that. I can see Jared Bednar as like the landlord. It's like, Jared, the hot water is not working. Hey, listen, because I've had properties, man. I've been a landlord. I know how that goes, but it's a great investment, man, and you're very smart for doing that, obviously, especially in an area like Charleston that's absolutely blown up. So, man, do you watch like all the social media? Like, what's it like seeing your players? Like, you got that special connection with your players. You see these guys, grind it throughout the course of the season. Everybody's got a different story in terms of, what got them to where they're at right now and eventually become a Stanley Cup champion. But to see them enjoy, just everything that comes with winning, like what's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah, I've been, I don't follow all of our guys' accounts, but they keep popping up on what they're doing on Phil Pritchard's account, right? So I keep liking them. I just have, for social media, I just have Twitter, and I'll follow all the same type of people, all the hockey media, and then a bunch of hunting and fishing stuff, and so I click through that once or twice a day, and the pictures keep popping up. It's been great. I saw Nate's parade, and I've been, basically every couple of days something new pops up, and it's at somebody else's house, and they give a little story and get some pictures in there. So it's been really nice to see that the guys are enjoying it, and with family and friends, and having a good time this summer because they've earned it.
Yeah, you grinded it, man. Like you went the hard way. Even grinding the minors, even coaching in the minors is tough. The travel's tough. Like, were you a leader on those teams? Like, you have to be a leader as a coach. And when did you find that? Like when you were playing?
Yeah, I think more on some teams than others, but probably the most was my South Carolina days when I was playing, which is where I played most of my career down here in Charleston. I played parts of 7 or 8 seasons down here and then coached another 5. That was the level that, I was a good player at, and that was the level that I kind of, at the time, we had a core group of guys here that are still all my good buddies and stuff. We all came in at the same time. We spent 5 to 10 years together playing on the same team, and real good connections with those guys. So I'd say that group, we had lots of leaders, but that was one of the groups that I was probably a big part of the leadership group in, and it just felt like family. So it was easy to kind of go out and do your job to the best of your ability, and it becomes a little bit more of a business for me as I went up and down to a couple different levels, but they were all fun and good stops. I always wanted to play at the highest level I could, same with coaching, and I've been able to do it a little bit more consistently as a coach than I did as a player. That's for sure.
You were like a fighter.
You put some hems up though, Jared. I see that.
You're fighting, Jared. I mean, was that always part of your? That's like the Saskatchewan coming out in you,
big boy.
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah, for sure. And that, again, that came a little easier here because it was, I was closer with these guys and spent more time here, and you're more invested in the group, I think. So I think that's natural, but it was just part of my, I guess, DNA when it came to what I was as a player. I wasn't that skilled, so that's what I had to do or part of my role on the teams that we had here.
Yeah, people forget you coached in Peoria too, and you had that Ryan Reeves on your roster, like, because he wasn't fighting a whole lot in junior. Like, was he fighting for you in the American League? Like, did you have any influence on that with him?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I don't know about the influence, but that was part of his role for sure. Yeah, he was our protector there. We had a handful of guys, but he was the main guy. He played for me for a season there, and then I believe the next season, and even parts of that first season, is when he started making his way up to St. Louis and being a big part of the Blues.
Yeah, he took my job, Jared, so thank you for helping him. I appreciate that. He did. Man.
Hey, what's it like seeing those guys, like coaching guys in the minors? Because I want to say maybe you had Ian Cole in the minors too, then you had him in the NHL, and you had Jake Allen and Ben Bishop, man, and Jordan Bennington for a game. Oh. I mean, you think about a tandem, though, in the American. You got Bishop and Allen, like two guys that are going to go on to have long NHL careers. I mean, did you see the future for both those guys specifically to end up, being, good goaltenders in the National League?
Oh, yeah. So Bish had been in the American League for a couple of years, and he was knocking on the door already, and Jake came in as a young guy. I think I saw him the 1 year in development camp up there at Traverse City, and then the following year, he joined the team in Peoria, and it was a great tandem. And you could see it right away. I mean, the work ethic and the competitiveness on top of their skill level and ability. I think it was pretty clear. Like Bish was already just getting ready to go up, and you knew it wasn't going to be long before Jake was up there doing his thing as well. So yeah, that's one of the most rewarding things. Like when you're coaching in the minors. Yep. You get invested in your guys, and you're trying to help them, and especially the guys that are really dialed into what they do, and you can tell that they have the drive to succeed, and they're putting all the extra work in. And then when you get the call from the general manager, for the big club, and he's like, "Hey, call what's his name in? We can get him on a flight." That's a cool moment. So for me, especially, I've never been able to experience that as a player, but as a coach, you see the work they put in. You call them in and tell them that they're going up to play for their first time, and I mean it's amazing. You can just see them light up, and then you're watching. You're hoping to try and make sure that game's on TV so you can catch it that night and watch them perform up top. It's pretty special.
Do you ever mess with a guy though? Like Robbie Fedora kind of messed with me. He just told me he wasn't playing the next time. Like, oh, my parents were in town. Like, did you ever screw with a guy, or was it just like, nah, I'm not gonna have an emotional roller coaster over this?
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, that's not who I am.
I mean, that'd be a dick move. I mean, let's be honest.
You could kind of do it.
Hey, now, Jared, give me a story though. Is there anybody that stands out? Where you did tell them that they're going up to the National League, and you haven't forgotten that moment?
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember almost all of them. The ones that So I spent after the Peoria days. I went to. Springfield, Mass, which was Columbus, and then we ended up picking up that team and moving to Columbus or to Cleveland, and we were able to win there. And I had a group of those guys, for 2, 3, 4 years as an assistant coach and a head coach in the minors, and everyone takes a different. Has a different time frame in their development and what the club needs and everything up top. But I'd had a group of those guys that were really dedicated to getting to the next level and took some time. And then we were able to win, which was great. And then there was about, I don't even know the number, but it's got to be 8 to 10 guys that had got themselves permanent jobs up in Columbus after that season, or shortly after that season, or even during that season. And to see those guys get rewarded, and then I ended up going to Colorado, and we'd play a game in Columbus, and I'd see them all in the hallway, and we'd have a quick chat. I thought that was pretty cool. You're seeing these guys that not just going up for a cup of coffee and getting some games, but to be up there and have places and have one-way contracts and have earned, got what they've earned in the game. I think is kind of stuck with me there. A couple trips back to Columbus.
Yeah, no, man, you had some great players on that team, guys that gone on to obviously have NHL careers. Sonny Milano and Borkstrand and some of these guys, and Corpusalo, I think, was on that team too, right? The goaltender. So, but I'm curious, when you're here in St. Louis and JD and Yarmo end up in Columbus, like, do you feel like you had that relationship with them? Like, what led to all of a sudden you getting a job in the Columbus organization? Like, how well did you get to know those guys when you were in, part of the Blues?
Yeah, I got to know them pretty good. St. Louis was they gave me my first crack as a head coach in the American League. Unfortunately, it didn't last quite as long as I would have liked. I really enjoyed working for him, Doug, Al, like just all the guys around JD. And then Chris McFarland was the one that brought me into the Columbus organization, and all those guys were over there again. So, I mean, you see a lot. It's a small world. Hockey world is a small world, and you're running into guys that change positions in teams. And, if you do a good job where you're at, someone else is always watching. There's slight promotion. So there's movement in management as well as, with the players and coaches. And, it was pretty cool to move to the next organization and already be familiar with a lot of the guys on the management team.
Yeah, McFarland's there now. I mean, it's just crazy. But, like, you win. Like, your level of credibility as a coach, I mean, it just skyrockets. Like, it changes. Like, and that tag of being a Stanley Cup champion, that's never going to leave you, Jared. Like, and like, when you win, and all these guys you mentioned that you worked with over the past, I'm sure they all reach out to you. They're all saying congratulations. I mean, just that moment of, like, hearing from so many people that have been a part of your past and your path, to getting to where you're at right now, like, that's got to be pretty cool too.
Yeah, that's a great feeling. I mean, by the time I got off the ice the night that we won, I think I had like 97 text messages and a bunch of voicemails. It was full. And, it just shows you that hockey's a great sport and the people care and reminds you to make sure you take the time and give back to and mentor other coaches or players and, along the way, because I had so many people help me, whether it was people in management, players, obviously, other coaches in the National League, American League, ECHL that you develop friendships with that are willing to share information and look out for you. And you got to remember that there's going to come a time when you're going to be without work and you need someone to put in a good word for you. And, networking is a big part of it. And I wouldn't say I'm great at that area because I wasn't around the National League, but, you got to be true to yourself and authentic and you build relationships over time. So it was that was awesome. You hear from everyone. And then over the next week or so, I was calling everyone back as the parties were going on and touching base, which is pretty cool.
So you won, an American League and the East Coast. And like, what was the hardest one? Of course, last year you had such an unbelievable team, and every year is hard. It's always hard to win, but like all three of those, like what was the hardest team to kind of get going if they had the talent of all three of those championships you won?
Well, I'd say Colorado. I was learning, our young core was learning and figuring out exactly what it would take to win. And when we started, my first year there, we were dead last. I always felt like we had some of these pieces that could lead us to where we are now. The MacKinnons, Rantons, Landeskog's, they were all around for a couple of years and some coming in just after I got there. I think that was really cool because we built it together. Cleveland was very similar. That was a 3 or 4 year process with the same guys, young guys coming in and building it up, and management keeping all the guys there that they're still part of their big plan. But the last 3 years in Colorado, I felt like we had a really good team. I think we finished second, third, and first, and then second again, and for different reasons. 1 year it was injuries. 1 year we probably weren't ready. Last year or 2 years ago against Vegas, we did not play well, and give them credit in the series against them. And, you learn. I always hated that saying, you got to lose before you can win, but I felt like that really helped drive our team this year, because we were really disappointed in the previous season, especially being, winning the regular season and then falling short against Vegas right away was difficult. And I think that gave our team a little extra determination, and we got mentally tougher than we were the year before. And then the guys really took on big leadership roles with accountability and whatnot. And our team excelled. And that was something that we saw early in the season, and it was sustained throughout the whole course of the year. So it did us some good. But I guess the payoff was worth it. Even though you go through a few of those years where you lose out, it's really disappointing and hard to take. But the pressure was on our team this year, and they delivered.
Yeah. What's that like, though? As a coach, like you mentioned the Vegas series, and Nathan MacKinnon has like the infamous, press conference afterwards. He's all down on himself, and he's saying, "I haven't won shit." But these guys are making millions of dollars. They got their contract. They're going to come back the next year and be great players and have a chance to do it again. But as a coach, like that, it's got to stick with you the entire offseason. Like, how difficult was that for you personally, like to get over? And how excited were you for last season to get going, just to kind of remove, what had happened the previous year before?
I would say pretty excited to get going again. There was that added fire, and tough to try and determine. When you're going through it that year. I'll go to that year especially because the year before we got decimated with some injuries, and that's just part of the game. Even if you're playing well and you feel like you got a chance, there's so many other teams that are right there as well. But that year against Vegas, not playing well and not being able to sort of find solutions as a coach that you could, translate to the players so they could go and execute, and not just feeling like we didn't have the answers for part of that series. That stuck with me, because you see how invested the guys are, how much they want it, and then you're trying to do everything right, and it's just not coming together. That's life sometimes. But that one stuck with me. It stuck with our players. Our goal was to not hide from that. We'd address it right away in training camp. We talked to our guys about it. Our guys took that to heart. I mean, they helped drive it through the whole course of regular season. Yeah, I did not like that loss at all, and it stuck with me. But I felt like if we got a little bit better in a few areas and got a little luck going into last year, that we'd be there again. So we experimented a little bit more at the end of regular season with matchups and pairings. We were the deepest team we'd been since I've been there, with the additions that we got at the deadline. I thought Joe and Chris and the staff did an amazing job getting guys like MacKinnon, Cogliano, Manson. Yeah. We were just deeper than we'd ever been, and more prepared, I think, mentally as a group, and tougher in that regard than we were in the years past. And the maturity of our team, and it just felt like we were ready to win last year. And then it just comes down to going out and performing your best at key times, and different guys were stepping up. Injuries and whatnot are going to be part of it, but other guys elevated their game and got the job done. So it was really rewarding. It was, 6 years, and it took a lot of work and a lot of dedication from our guys, but they were committed to it.
Yeah, no, you guys deserved it, man. You guys were so good. I mean, even during the course of the year, you just kind of felt like it was going to be your year. But your first year you come to Colorado, because you mentioned you didn't play in the NHL, and you didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. It was a late hire. You kind of inherited the previous coaching staff. You didn't have time to bring on your own coaches. Like, were you nervous, like, entering your first year, like, addressing the team? You didn't have time to really establish those relationships either. Like, what was that situation like for you? I mean, you mentioned being last in the league and everything. I mean, like, were you truly ready for it?
I felt like I'd been doing things to get myself ready for it, and really kind of honing my craft my whole coaching career. I got some really good advice, like, you forget about the level you're at, like the way you operate, you want it to be, something that can translate to the next level up. So ECHL, I was paying attention to all the American guys. What are they doing? How are they teaching? You're kind of learning at all these conferences and everything. And just from talking to people, reading books, podcasts, just gathering information and trying to implement it, and while still staying true to yourself. And Then I did the same thing at the American League, so I felt like I was ready. But every level is just so different, Like the ECHL, you got guys that you're playing that stick with you for years. You've recruited them. You build the relationship while you're recruiting. American League, you got everyone's trying to get out of there and get to the next level. So there's lots of incentive, and you're dealing with them. It's different dealing with the player, and then NHL is completely different again, and so I had a lot to learn. I wouldn't say as much on the like sort of X's and O's side, but just how players think, how they operate. You got to learn the league, even the buildings that you're walking into. So it takes some time. I really like their camp, even though we didn't have a lot of time to prepare. I liked the start of our season. I think we were 500 at 9-9 at one point. We had the injury to Varlamov and Johnson, and things went sideways, and we just couldn't get the job done. That was a stressful year for me. Joe tried to put me at ease and said, listen, we got a lot of turnover coming at the end of this year. I think it was 12 guys that contracts were expiring, but he said, you got to spend time with the MacKinnons, the Landeskog's, these guys that they're going to be part of it. They're going to be a huge part of it. Leadership's going to get handed over to these guys if it wasn't already, and they're going to take on bigger roles. And we just went to work, and the additions that they got the next year, the young guys kind of rejuvenated our group. There was no pressure. It was like the start of the rebuild, and we went out and had a really fun year and got in the playoffs the next year, and it kind of sped everything up and kind of showed us that we were on the right track again. But I was worried that year that, I'd worked my whole life to try and get there as a player, didn't get there, then my whole life as a coach to try and get there. And then I was like, it's not a forgiving league. I was a little worried that job might be gone,
yeah.
in a blink of an eye. But fortunately, Joe was patient and gave me another opportunity, and it all worked out.
Yeah. No, you got to give Joe a lot of credit for being patient with you. I mean, not only after your first year and all that, but even, after the tough losses in the playoffs too, So, hey, but listen, Nathan MacKinnon, man, like what should we know about this guy? Everyone knows he's a great player. But we've seen him on the bench be emotional. I've heard from referees that he's emotional on the ice. He can get, in the face of a teammate here and there. We've heard some of your former players come out publicly. Zadorov, I think, made some comments and whatever. I don't know how accurate they are, but we've seen you and him bicker on the bench before. What's it like coaching him, and how's that relationship evolved over the years?
It's awesome coaching him. I think that's part of what, and he's really sort of grown into a leadership role, while staying true to himself. Like, he can be abrasive at times, but it's all coming from the right place. Like, I'd rather have to calm a guy down every once in a while than be trying to jumpstart him to get competitive. You know what I mean? I think the game has to be played with passion and enthusiasm and a certain desire to win. He has it. This is the most competitive guy that I've ever coached. And you mix that with his skill and talent and speed and strength and all that's why he's so good, right? But that's what drives him to be elite in all those other areas. It's his heart. It's his, that's the way he is the emotion that he plays with. And I like it, I told him a long time ago, if I think you're wrong, I'm going to tell you, not every time, but sometimes. And, I don't think I'm going to hurt your feelings. And I said, you're certainly not going to hurt mine. We can blow up at each other, and the next day I'll go by, and we good? And he'll be like, oh yeah, we're good. My bad. And I'll say the same. And it is what it is, and that's a lot of his relationship with other guys too. They know where he's coming from. He drives the bus from on our team when it comes to our competitiveness, and him and Landy and some of our other guys, they all lead in their own way, and they all bring a little something to the leadership group. So I really enjoyed coaching them, because I think that's something that more players need. You know what I mean? I think it's a game that's got to be played with that type of passion, and he has it. And he has it in spades.
What about Landeskog? Did you think you were going to lose him last offseason, by the way? Did you always know in the back of your mind, okay, we're going to find a way to get it done? But like as a captain, like there's so many personalities on there, and obviously him being from Sweden, although you would never know it when you hear him talk or watch him play. Like he's
right.
as North American as it gets when you just watch him out there on the ice competing. But as a leader, like let us know who this guy is. And did you think they were going to get it done? Did you think maybe you were going to lose him?
I was confident that we would get him done for the longest time, and then it just wasn't happening. And even just talking with Joe and Chris that, yeah, we're going to get him done. We're going to get him done. And it just kind of slowed. And then, as a coach, you're like, oh, you kind of get a little bit worried. And, he's such an important piece to our team because he's mature beyond his years. I mean, it's crazy to think as a young guy, I think back, where was I at 22, 23, 25, and watching this guy operate, you can just tell that there's just something different about him when it comes to leadership. And he just he's always looking at the big picture, real good communicator, gets along with the young guys, older guys, married, single, doesn't matter. Like he just has a feel for everyone and he's so well respected. Add that to what he does on the ice for us. It's just, he does a little bit of everything and it's all way above average to really good or excellent. You know what I mean? So he can do it all. And you need guys like that. He's like the glue to our locker room. It's hard to describe, everything that he does for our team because he's involved in it all. And he's got just this wealth of knowledge for a young guy that, he has the respect of everyone from management to coaching staff and players. And he's just he's almost like having another coach, but a guy that's out there on the ice competing. And when he talks, people listen. And, like I said, we've got a real good mix of our leaders in that room that are all bring a little bit something different to the table. But I feel like Landy's kind of like the last word, you know what I mean? He ties it all together and wraps it up with a bow on it for our team to be able to go and compete and be focused on the right things.
It's so unfair, but you don't know how bad I want to ask you. Like, if you could pick one player off your team that you had to draft first overall, like who would it be? Because listen, you've got this Cale Makar too, man, who I was saying late last. I thought he was the best player in the league. It's like watching you guys play. Being in the same division here, like I just, you see so many of your games. Like I don't know if there's a player in the league that's like better than this guy. And obviously McDavid. And listen, everybody's great in their own way, but
yeah,
like he's taking your team to that next level. I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, do you win the cup without the addition of Cale Makar?
No, we don't. No question. And he has taken it to a whole new level. I mean, you watch this guy play and. I mean, there's so many good players and defensemen even around the league but like this guy is just in the league of his own already, and he's so young. And you look at what he's accomplished from that, junior championship, national championship, college, Hobey Baker, and then he comes in the NHL and wins every award you can win as a defenseman in the first couple of years. You don't win, and you're going back to the question. You really can't answer because. A couple of years ago, I was, kind of watching Nate play and he explodes to 99 points and misses some games at the end of the year to injury. And I was going through it and I'm like, geez, he was the best player on the ice in either team in this game and this game and this game. And you start going through it and I'm like, I got him as the best player on the ice in like 50 of the 80 games that we played, 82 games. It's like, this is nuts, and then Cale, Cale kind of comes into the scene, and even last year it was the same way for him. We're spoiled there, no question, with players like that, and then still looking at all the rest of the supporting cast and what they bring to it. Our leadership group, it's a really good group that can continue to grow together. With me and the coaching staff included, hopefully. And it's just like, I think we can keep pushing it. If we keep bringing the passion and the determination that we played with this year moving forward, then we'll give ourselves a chance to get back to the same spot, hopefully.
Hey, in the 2017 draft, were you surprised that he went that late? I know there's some good players that have drafted before him, but maybe were you surprised that Philadelphia and Ron Hextall took a Nolan Patrick?
Like what was the reaction of the organization?
Because we got all those guys on too.
Oh,
the podcast
Bobby Clark made some comments. Sure,
were you surprised?
You may have heard those.
Well, first of all, like as when you're so I'm only involved in the pro side of it. We have our pro scouts and our management team that watches all the guys from the American League, NHL, and get dialed in. Yeah. And Joe and Chris, our management team, will involve me when things get down. They're looking at players. They'll say, "Listen, you got to watch this guy play, player X. So watch him, and how would he fit in? Can he help us?" And that's when I get involved. We don't touch any of the. Like, I'm there to coach. I'm not there to scout. But obviously they want to know, well, can he help you? How would you use him based on what you're watching in all these games? It's easy to pull their shifts and go through them. And so I think that's smart. Amateurs, you don't watch them at all. So I don't know Nolan Patrick from Cale Makar, from this guy. You see him a little bit at World Junior or something, catch some games, but that's it,
Mm-hmm.
Word of mouth, and who's kind of rising to the top of the class. But we had that year, and that was the year we finished last. And then we go to the draft lottery and move from first overall to fourth. And you're just like, oh my God, what is going on? It's just another kick, And then our scouts are like, no, we're excited about this guy, and we get Makar. Like Heiskanen was in there, and so you don't know. It just goes to show you just got to keep grinding and sticking with what you're doing. You don't know what life's going to throw at you. Like I got let go to the St. Louis organization. I go to work for Columbus with Chris McFarland and as our general manager in Springfield and then Bill Zito in Cleveland. And the next thing you know, Chris is up there putting my name in Colorado, and I'm there. Like, without moving organizations, I don't know that I get the opportunity that I'm in. So you just got to stay with it. The same thing with this Cale thing. We get him, and he comes in, and I mean, look at what he's done. I mean, it's a star player and going to be a star for so long, and again, really mature, humble guy for his age, and just elite in every category on the ice. So as a person and as a player, so we're extremely lucky to have him. I think if the draft was redone, it would go differently. But at that time, you're drafting. You win some, you lose some. You're drafting kids, and you don't really know everything about them until you give them some time.
But when you did draft him. And then, how long did it take for you guys to all look at each other like, oh yeah, he's 10-2 and everybody on the blue line. He's getting pucked. He's got the puck the whole damn scrimmage. How long did it take?
Well, I think the first, if I can't remember exactly, I'm not great at this stuff, but I want to say that because of college, the one year he didn't they don't come to the rookie tournament because they're in college. I know this. We were trying to get him out after his first year of college, okay? And this will speak to his maturity as a player and his family upbringing, because they're amazing. It's we're trying to bring him out. Okay, you're ready to come out. And he's like, no, I'm not ready yet. I need to, go back. And there was no way he was going to, with his ability, that he was going to stay in school for 4 years and get his degree, right? But he goes back to college, even though we're trying to get him out and sign him. And it's the best decision that he made, and it worked out great for our organization. And Joe was like, yeah, if you want to go back, that's good. And it can't hurt you. We talked to the college, Greg Carvel at college. He goes back, Hobie Baker, national championship, steps into a playoff series with us. We're like, we got to get a look at this guy early, see if he can help us. He scores halfway through the first period. And we're like, yeah, this guy's going to be okay. Yes. So our first look at him as coaches really was playoff series against Calgary in the year we finished 8th and ended up upsetting Calgary in that series. Yeah. So, we knew right then and there that he's going to be really good. By the time you get him in the next season and start watching him play through the first quarter of the season, you're like, yeah, this guy's going to be special.
Oh, no, he's absolutely, he's unreal. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, Nazem Kadri. Now,
Yeah.
how many conversations have you had with him, like, over the years where you just had to bring him in, like, one-on-one? Like, and as a head coach, like, do those guys make you uncomfortable? Like, because you just never know, like, when that moment's going to happen, you know, like where they're going to get a suspension or something's going to, you know, or do people make too big a deal out of it? And he's very easy to coach. Like break him down for us.
I think not as many conversations as what you would think, you know, like he came in, approved the trade to Colorado and came in and, you know, so I think when we first got there, we discussed a little bit about like his history and those suspensions in playoffs and, you know, like he's like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not, you know, every situation is different, right? And he didn't take a lot of undisciplined penalties for us. He was a good player for us for a couple of years. He gets suspended in prior to the Vegas series in the St. Louis game on that hit on Falk in the slot, as St. Louis fans will remember. And it's a timing thing, and it could have done without that. For us, it hurt us as much as it hurt St. Louis, you know, and it was tough. And everyone digs up his pass again, but like that was really the first incident where I was like, whoa, that's over the top. And you know, it was a hit right in the slot when the guy's shooting and he catches his head. He caught him wrong and he paid for it, and our team paid for it. But the conversations with him weren't about that, you know, and it was more about playing to an identity that you know, because he's such a gifted player, and then has the mix of that snarl and the ability to pass or shoot and drive a line, and we needed that. And man, I'm so proud of him, because I feel like you get to a certain age and players kind of are what they are. They just keep working to maintain that and work to get better, but they're just making smaller increments of progress. Well, Nazem Kadri this year was a beast, you know, and it was crazy how good he was and how consistent he was from the start of the season. And that was a conscious decision that he made and a commitment that he made to our team and to himself this year to like just bring his best, because he believed in what we had around him and on our team, and he believed that we had a chance to win it. He wanted to take full advantage of that, and he did. So huge growth from him this year. Really happy to see him get the big contract and get rewarded for it in Calgary. Wish we could have kept him for sure, but you know, in this day and age, it's just hard to keep everybody.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do it.
People throwing water bottles at him and everything, Jared. You know, it got a little crazy there, you know, for a little while in the postseason. Hey, and I could ask you about every player on your roster. You have so many good players. Bowen Byram's amazing. Rantanen, you know, like one of the most underrated stars in the game. But, like, speaking of underrated, and it's always interesting, okay, well, how did they build this roster into a Stanley Cup winner? And you can draft some guys like Makar and MacKinnon, but then you got to make some shrewd trades too. And you guys get Devin Taves, man. It's just like, what? And I saw a list the other day. Somebody, I think the NHL Network, they had him like listed as like a top 10 defenseman. And I ran it by an NHL coach. I said, is he in the top 10? Is he that good? And he said, listen, he's close. Like, do you have two number ones? Break his game down.
Perfect compliment to Kale, number one. But so this is a guy that I knew nothing about, right? Like the Islanders, you know, we played him. I don't know how many years he's been with us now, a couple. And so you play him twice a year for 3 years. And I didn't even remember him. We get him in a trade for a couple seconds, and he comes in, and you're like, oh, this guy's pretty good. You know, like we're like, he can skate. He doesn't make any mistakes with the puck. He's just so consistent at what he does. And he's just, you know, well, let's try him on the power play. He's great on the power plays, penalty killing, just does it all. Real quiet personality, but really well liked, fits into our room. Yeah, we were blown away. You know, as he starts playing, you start watching. He's a guy you got to watch a lot to just pick up on how good he is, because he's just you know, good to great on everything he does. You know what I mean? It's just like just so consistent. He makes everything look so easy. You know, like kind of like Niedermeyer, you'd watch him and you just be like, man, he makes every hard play look so easy, so he can be underappreciated at times, but he's been a huge, huge piece to our puzzle and the growth of our team, especially as Cale has emerged as the player that he is, and having him as a partner. And both guys can log a lot of minutes now. It's a luxury that most teams don't have.
Hey, how do you describe yourself as a coach? I mean, are you a player's coach? Is the door always open? Your practice is hard, but maybe you get some guys a day off. You guys are winning games. How are you?
Well, I think all the above that you just said. I mean, I don't know. I don't just sit there and evaluate my sort of buzzwords that how to describe myself. I try to be authentic. I be me. I feel like I'm pretty easy to communicate. My door is definitely always open. I want our team to understand, what our identity is and play to it very consistently. I feel like I push our team in that regard, but I also feel I'm really fair to our team. Like, they earn trust with me, and so a bad night or a bad period here, like, it's not the end of the world. Like, we'll recover from it, even though sometimes you go into the media and you try to make everything seem way worse than what it is. I try to evaluate our team and our performance, honestly and fairly, and not just based on the results sometimes. And even though it's a results-oriented business, I think that the players kind of get me, and I understand them. And part of that is some of the coaches that I've had with me, and the opinions that I trust, and Joe and Chris being around. It's a lot that I have a lot of really good input around our team. So I try to gather all that and be respectful to the players. It's their sport, right? Like, at the end of the day, I'm not winning and losing the hockey game. Our team as a whole, and the performance of our players is. But so I try to push our team as hard as I can, but still being respectful with the days off and the time away. And for me, I try to handle it. I don't know how every coach has their own way, but I like what I call upfront contract with our players. Like, hey, we've been playing really good. I think this could be an extra day off here. Players come to me wanting a day off. They're a little tired. And I say, okay, well, like, this is the work that we need to get done before we play St. Louis. And as long as you guys are dialed up and ready to go for Thursday's practice, we can take Wednesday off, and I think that pays off. It gives the players input into what you're doing, and you're listening to their feelings, and they know when they come back that, that they got a little reward there. So they got to come back ready to work and get dialed in for the weekend, so just try and treat them fairly and listen to their input as much as I possibly can.
Are you a yeller? Like, do you snap? Have you ever gone crazy,
breaking
Jared?
Sticks.
Are you breaking sticks? Are you knocking over Gatorade jugs? Are you punching holes in the wall? Like I want to know how mad you get.
No, I mean, as a younger coach, I got mad more often. I do a better job of it now, controlling it. But I take heat all the time, or did take heat. I don't know about now after this year, but of like not showing emotion, or not, getting on guys on the bench or whatever. And I like, if I get mad, it's sometimes in between periods. And now I've grown with this group, so they understand me and I understand them. I don't have to yell and scream at them all the time. I think that gets old. But I do deliver my message, truthfully and honestly. And sometimes there's emotion in there. I would say I do a pretty good job of controlling that, even if I'm frustrated or angry or whatever. And on the bench, I don't do a lot of like getting on guys, because I'm confident that, they understood the message prior to that in our preparation for the previous day and that day, that they already understand what they're going to do. And if I need to point something out, I'll do it in between periods, and away we go. It doesn't mean we're not touching guys up on the bench here and there on little things. But when it comes to like the overall performance of our team, I usually wait till the intermissions to do that.
And do you coach your star players the same way you do everybody else? I mean, is that even realistic to expect? And like a Cale Makar, he's only 23 years of age, but and he's a superstar. And people may look at it, well, he doesn't probably need to be coached because he's such a great player. But do you still coach him like a 23-year-old?
Well, I think that's fair. They don't necessarily need to be coached like everybody else. You're coaching them to their standard and what you expect them to be able to do with your team. You know what I mean? So the greatest players are the most consistent players, and so again, that's the trust they earn. They're not going to be perfect every night, but there's going to be certain things that they have to do on a nightly basis to still be able to contribute, even if they're not feeling it. You know. I don't coach them the same as everybody else, but I do try to coach them fairly and still hard, and still try and, you know, push a little extra out of them at times. And other times you just got to have a feel and leave them be. You know, I think it depends on the player and depends on his role in our team. And, you know, those guys tend to, you know, do great things, and sometimes they'll mess up here and there, and you got to live with a little bit of that. And, you know, they know that, you know, and you know that they know, so it's kind of there's no use beating a dead horse over it. You know, it is what it is. You regroup and focus in on what's coming in front of you instead of dwelling on the past. For me.
Yeah, we interview so many people, and I'm like looking at your name, and I'm trying to think what the guys call you. What do they call? They don't call you Jared. Like they got a nickname for you?
They call me Bedsy.
Bedsy. Yeah, I was gonna say
Bedsy. Hey, listen, you brought it up at the beginning of the interview, and I had it in my mental notes during my world class research, man. But like, listen, what you do for that Humboldt community. First off, yes. I want to you know, congratulate you on your success this offseason, bringing the cup there, and you guys raised a lot of money for that golf tournament. But like, give people an idea of the history you have in Humboldt, and you know just how difficult that tragedy was for you personally.
Yeah, that was tough. It was my dad's RCMP, which is Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So we traveled around Saskatchewan as a child. Like, we were in Humboldt once. We were stationed there once. We worked there as a family. We picked up and left, went to the next place, and then my dad ended up going back. So I basically grew up there from kindergarten to grade 4 or 5. I was gone, and then back again till I left for junior in 11th grade or whatever. And I played a year for the Humboldt Broncos. So that was a team that, you know, where I first aspired to play serious hockey was after minor hockey. I wanted to play for the Broncos and then eventually go to the Western League. And so I played there for parts of 2 seasons, and that was great. I watched all the local kids that had come up before me and skate with them in the summertime and whatnot to play there. And so I was on a random text chain with all my buddies from Humboldt that I, you know, go hunt and fish and golf with whenever I get home, and the guys I grew up with. And the Broncos were playing, and one of my buddies, Kirby Wasserman, his son Jacob, was the goalie, and they were heading to that game. And all of a sudden, everyone started talking about a crash, and that's how I found out about it, right? And then Kelly Chase called me. You know, I kind of was getting the information, and goes up in the news, and then Kelly Chase said that they were his that company, Spark Bookings, that he works for, was going to do a big concert they were putting together to raise some money, and our season had just ended, so I went up there for that. And, I mean, it was emotional. There was a great turnout from the NHL, NHLPA, of support, and the country community for putting on the concert. It was in Saskatoon, and I walked into the room where we were meeting all the families, and I immediately start recognizing more people than I thought I knew. And some girls, people I went to school with, were billet families. Guys I played with, their kids were playing there. And it was devastating. I don't like, you know, the emotion of that. I mean, that's just a hard situation. But I soon begin to realize that this, how strong all those people were that were involved, and what they've done to give back in the community of Humboldt. I just admire the strength of everyone that was involved in that, and how they persevered, and how they've honored their lost loved ones. And so I just wanted to try and do something, and I got together. Haley Wickenheiser actually talked me into like doing something, and connected me and a girl that I went to school with, Lori Wofford, and we put this tournament together along with Brian Munns, and we've been just trying to raise money and started a memorial scholarship foundation, and basically, trying to give back to the community in different ways and different charities and different scholarships for kids, and give some money to the Humboldt Broncos while we're doing that.
Yeah, man.
Well,
we all kind of knew where we were when
so
that
tough,
happened.
man. I got a couple more things for you, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Of course, all the girls remember you, by the way.
I was going to say, I was thinking the same thing. They all should remember you.
They all remember Jared. They call him Jared. They don't call you Bedsy.
Sir Jared.
Yeah. So, hey, what's Joe like to work for? Like, is he kind of like what he just appears on television when you walk by him in like in an ice rink? He's just cool Joe, like Joe Sakic, who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he really respectful, laid back, has a great feel for our hockey club, very patient, just focused on what we need to do and what our team needs to do. I think he's got a great feel for our team and our room. And I mean, he's been invaluable for me, like to just coming in as a young coach and just the advice he's given me. And I mean, he just, he played for so long. He's so well respected. He talks to our players. He talks to our coaches, great communicator, but like really just kind of easy going and understands that it's a process, and it's I couldn't imagine working for anybody else. It's just he's a great boss, no question.
Hey, describe the flight from Tampa back to Denver. Like do you remember that, Jared? Like that flight being on the where was the cup? Was it in your seat the whole time? Was it back with the players? Like were you just describe that celebration on that plane.
Who hogged the cup?
Yeah, it was awesome. Actually, Brett Heimlich, our video coach, we partied there till probably 6 a.m. Some guys went all the way through. I think our bus was 8:30 or 9 to get to the airport. We got on it, and as we rounded everybody up, there was a couple door knocks, I think, to get guys down there.
I was wondering who was like,
so they go quick pack and get down there. But all the families, their wives and that were on it. So we packed everyone on not our usual charter, and, started drinking mimosas and stuff like that right away, having to, continuing the party. And Brett Heimlich, our video coach, started at the front, took the cup, and then just started like getting pictures of everyone in their seats with their families, which was really cool. And so it made its way all the way down and all the way back up. And next thing you know, we were landing with some first responders, fire department, police, and whatnot, and a nice crew all the crew that helped us out at Signature for the last few years there, and got some pictures with it there before we dispersed.
And you know what? Probably at the end of that, though, you're partying, and all of a sudden during the summer, you're like, I'm done with it. Like I gotta focus. I'm sick of going to parties. I gotta say no.
Hey, Kadri plays for Calgary now. By the way, I just want to let you. You've been partying the whole summer, Jared. Just in case.
You gotta say no now.
Yeah, no question. And by the time that week was over, basically after the parade, everyone leaves, and I was like, okay, good, done. And then they told me, well, you got it next week in South Carolina. So I rushed home and kind of did it again, and then to Humboldt again. And it's it's work. You have certain responsibilities, but it's just so nice to see all your loved ones, family members, friends, people that have invested in your career in one way or another, or that were fans of you and still are, to get some time with it and watching the appreciation they have for it and what you've done it's pretty special.
Yeah, no, I've seen you talk about your family and like even get like choked up a little bit. Like, I mean, it's like genuine emotion. Like it just doesn't happen in that one night. I mean, it's a year, lifelong process of getting there. Hey, last thing from me, like Ray Bennett as an assistant.
Oh, gotta give him a shout out.
Yeah, I've known Ray for forever. Yeah. His kid played on our U18 AAA team, and Ray would come out and help run practices and like what does he add to your coaching staff? And you gotta be happy for him too, man. This guy's been on an NHL bench for 20 plus years and finally wins one.
Right, exactly. Like I want to say 17 years keeps sticking in my head. So I feel like someplace over the last couple of years, he was at 17, which would put him 20 plus now.
Yeah.
And had never had the opportunity, and like and good teams in St. Louis, right? Like it's there's so many similarities between the teams, right? St. Louis, I think you guys kept running into San Jose where the years I was there, which was a powerhouse. It's like you just, everything's got to come together, and then you finally win, right? And it's got to be the perfect storm. Well, yeah, I handed the cup to Ray on the ice, and it was just like, it's just so cool because there's so many people, your assistant coaches, the support staff, and everyone has this story of how they've grinded to get to where they are and finally get an opportunity to win. I'm just so happy that I could be part of that, but Ray's invaluable to me. I mean, I talked to Hitch when I was going to hire him. I knew Ray from my days in St. Louis, and he was a guy that helped mentor me. Like, he was an American. I think I talked to him up at camp, and him and Bradshaw, and we just talk, and he was really open to sharing information. He's such a well-spoken, knowledgeable guy, just like a professor of the game, So he always knows what might be coming, what this guy's dealing with, what that guy's dealing with, what the opponent might throw at us. Like, Hitch used the term, like this, you need a guy, as a young coach, it's going to be able to see around corners and see what's coming next for you, and he's done a really good job with our stars in that power play, and helps me with the offensive schemes. And like, he's just, I mean, like I said, you don't win without everyone kind of doing their part and pulling the rope in the right direction, and he's a huge part of it for me.
Yeah, he was great to me. I loved him. Loved him as a coach.
Yeah, well, congrats, man.
Yeah,
listen,
thanks, dude.
You've had an unbelievable ride, man, and to see you get on the mountaintop was really cool.
You deserve it.
So enjoy the rest of the off season, and now you get to look forward to the challenge of trying to do it again. So
go chill in that center console for a little bit. Go do your thing.
Hey, what kind of view you have out your window in Colorado, though? I mean, like, I know you're not really up in the mountains because you're in Denver, but
I live right in town. I have a nice spot, though. It's like I got lucky along this like greenway and found like almost an acre of land.
Yeah, wow.
But it's right in town and 5 minutes from the practice rink, so it's nice. I got some I like the nature part of it. I've got some like big mule deer and coyotes walking right through my neighborhood all the time, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's
Andy
awesome.
doesn't know anything about that. He lives too close to the city.
I
live way outside. I get what you're saying.
I'm heading to Colorado tomorrow,
you
man.
are.
I can't wait. So
hey,
listen,
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
we'll be watching.
Thanks.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, Bedsy.
Appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Jared Bednar.
Yeah,
here on the Cam Strick Podcast, man. What a cool dude.
Yeah,
and again,
cool
very accomplished.
Yep.
He's done it the hard way.
Yep, I like that.
And you know what? That. Like, no one really knew who Jared Bednar was. Like, he gets a job in, the coast.
Yeah.
Gets to the American Hockey League, even in St. Louis when he was working in the Blues organization before he went over to the, Blue Jackets organization. I mean,
you learn.
People didn't really know. Hey, I don't even think he gets the Avalanche job if Patrick Waugh, if that situation didn't happen with him leaving the organization very late in the offseason, and Bednar was just coming off an American Hockey League championship, but it wasn't like, NHL teams were lining up trying to hire him at the time. I thought he was going to be the next head coach of the Blue Jackets. And then the Avalanche come calling because Patrick Waugh now is leaving, and it's the end of the offseason.
Here's a reminder to everybody. Always be nice to people.
Yeah.
And socialize. Mm-hmm. And do, if you have a job to do in front of people, like, everybody evaluates everybody.
Yeah.
So like everywhere he went, people were like, I like him. Just like Ray Bennett. Just like it's all about who's who. Yeah. Oh, how's this guy? Oh God, he works.
But he didn't really know. I mean, he knew Ray Bennett actually because he was working in the Blues organization. And Ray was so good to him when Bednar was coaching down in the American
that's what I mean.
League.
Like, and so, but like Ray's like, no, he works. Like he knows what
right.
He gets it. He's in the meetings. He's bringing ideas. Mm-hmm. So if you do that, like in the hockey world, God, people know. Everybody knows everybody.
I know.
Man.
And you know what? It's funny because Chris McFarland, who's now the GM there in Colorado. And he was working in the Blue Jackets organization too.
I know.
Bednar's working for him.
That's what I mean.
McFarland leaves and goes to Colorado, and now listen, his profile and his brand has just blown up because they've won a Stanley Cup, and of course they got the McCarrs of the world who kind of fell into their lap, and they've got all these other great players that make up that roster. Yeah. And McFarland's there, and now they need a coach, and he's like, hey, I got a guy for you. Funny he just won the American Hockey League championship.
Just remember, everybody's always evaluating you in a good way. And that's what you want. You want people to recognize what you're doing. You bust your ass. I've seen it like all these coaches. I'm like, God, he's grinding. They get a job. They get another job. Now they're there. Now they're here. That's how it is, man.
I know.
So
I know.
Hockey world's small. Just remember that.
Yeah. But you knew their time was going to come there in Colorado. It was only a matter of time before they won.
I know. But he got there.
Mm-hmm. But Joe Sakic, it's like
Joe Sakic's fucking awesome.
Any resemblance in terms of how he carries himself and how he runs that team? Do you feel any connection with like how Yzerman does? I was
just gonna say that. Fuck yeah, they're the same player. Mm-hmm. Although Yzerman, yeah, dude, they're the same kind of dude. They just did it. No, I'll score a big time goal. Mm-hmm. No, I'll be stoic in the locker room, or if I do say something, everybody. So now, like when you do talk, like he evaluates everything. Like he's meticulous in his decisions. Look who he brought on board. Like every decision's been good. Joe Sakic calls you. You're like, oh shit, what? Like what's up?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Stevie Y, what? Yeah, you need what? Oh, you want to do this? Like, oh, okay. I don't know. You have to build that.
It's like when those guys
are
calling you, like you listen.
You're like what?
They get your attention immediately.
And even the hardcore GMs.
Oh hell yeah!
Are calling and Joe Sakic calls you. You're like, hey, like I'm gonna listen to everything you say. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like it.
Well, at least you should.
Damn right.
We'll see if Rob Blake can get to that point.
Yeah.
In Los Angeles.
I think he will. He's the same kind of guy, but a defenseman. Mm-hmm. He fucking crushed guys with that big ass of his.
But listen, it's easier said than done. Not every great player can walk in and just have that type of.
Yeah, but he's got that personality. We talked to guys, and they talked about Rob Blake. He's the same dude.
And, Sakic and Yzerman are the same that, like, you just don't ever hear them talking or doing anything.
Well, Stevie Y talked about the COVID
thing.
He did. Pretty good. I like that.
But then, again, he's so smart and so crafty.
No one said shit.
That,
Isn't it funny how those pussy
he comes out, and you know what? I truly believe that Steve Yzerman coming out and making his comments about, I think it impacted and it moved the needle in terms of the direction that we went in with the NHL.
I know. Fuck yeah. He's a fucking leader.
So
dude.
Sometimes you need those guys to talk.
Stevie Y, who's he kidding? He needs to stick to hockey. Oh, yeah, okay. Like he doesn't read the room. Like he doesn't do his homework.
Right.
Like he doesn't have people around him.
He was so prepared.
Get out of here. Who are you kidding?
Yeah.
So I love it, man.
You think Colorado wins again?
God damn, Andy, probably. I want there to be a shift, though. I want there to be a shift in the NHL. I want the Ottawas. I want the Detroit, Vancouver. I don't know. Anaheim.
They're ways away.
Well, Anaheim, they might be.
Well, and when I say a ways away, I don't mean like
we just interviewed a bunch of guys.
They're building. They're building.
Like we've seen a lot of teams. I want to see. I don't want the bad teams to always be fucking bad. I want them to build. Columbus, let's go. You build. I like when teams. You're gonna grab a guy for that much money, and you're gonna risk. And you built. Yarmo did his shit. He did his thing, and he found a way to get Johnny Gaudreau. I want them to be successful.
Well, we said this.
Jersey,
we said this.
I love all y'all
at the time.
I love you. I miss your food.
Nobody's hiring PK, by the way.
Oh, funny how that works.
Is PK still out there?
Is he bringing his wife to the practices in the locker room?
He didn't.
The boys must have loved that.
He didn't do that, did he?
Yeah. He's annoying.
Hey, Columbus, man, I said this at the time, and, we love Yarmo and JD and everybody, but, you go out and sign the most high-profile superstar available on the open market. Okay, so you won the free agency, but now you got to start winning games and advancing into the postseason.
I know. I want the Rangers to be good, too.
I do, too, man. I love the Rangers.
I want them to be good.
Especially
I want everybody to be good.
Coach.
That's what sucks. Like, not everybody can be good.
What about Florida?
Florida? I don't know. I like Maddie. Maddie needs to be loud down there. Get some cool celebrities in there.
Maddie's going to bring...
You'll bring some focus.
He's going to bring that Barkov out of his show a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. I don't know. I want the bad teams to be good. Chicago could be mediocre and it doesn't matter. They're big.
I love the stories though with Bednar, how he handled Nazem Kadri, how he handled him,
the victim,
which he said, hey, it wasn't as big of a deal as maybe you would think, in terms of how many times they had to talk, but they had to talk.
Yeah, but he played the way he played the whole run into the goalie threat thing was cool. He played like Brady would have played it.
He basically admitted, hey, listen, like what Kadri did to Justin Falk, everyone wants to focus on what it did to St. Louis, but like pretty much crushed their Stanley Cup aspirations too. They never recovered from it. I mean, they beat St. Louis and they swept them, and St. Louis wasn't a match for them. They didn't have Perron. They just weren't. It just wasn't. I don't think anyone thought St. Louis was going to win that series.
Yeah.
But you look at how it went down against Vegas. They couldn't match up against Vegas. Colorado couldn't because they didn't have Kadri, who was suspended, So you can have great players on your team all you want, but if they're not available or if they're constantly, creating, controversy.
I know.
Then,
don't be a sideshow.
Yeah, don't be a sideshow. So, anyway, but listen, he put it together this year.
I'm watching House of Dragons tonight. I didn't see it last night, and I'm sorry. I'm watching it tonight. I don't give a shit.
It's on a Monday.
I love Castles so much. Ooh, God, I just do.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed Jared Bednar, man. We got some awesome, other great interviews coming your way.
He was great.
And before you know it, training camp's going to start later on this month too.
I miss hockey, dude.
It's crazy that we're there.
I'm sick of baseball, but I like October baseball. It's kind of cool.
Yes. Hair Club, as always, brings us the Cam Strick Podcast, 800-279-7878. But so does your Sparks skate sharpener, Cam. I mean, you want to know why my sprint, like my time, my speed on the ice, while it's increased a little bit. But the Sparks skate sharpener will take your game to the next level, Cam.
I know.
And again, it's a precise, perfect skate sharpen every single time you put it in there. And it takes no time at all whatsoever. So again, use that promo code Cam and Strick and get your skate sharpener today. You're going to save more money than the sale that Sparks puts on for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So check that out. Sparks, baby. All right, CarShield and CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. 800-857-2481. Use that promo code CAM. I know it's embarrassing, but do it. CarShield, it'll save you money. You never know when something's going to go down in your vehicle. All right, Waggle Golf. Get your waggle on and look good while you're doing it. That's what I do.
Oh, God dang, do I look good.
I want to see some pictures of our listeners wearing that Waggle Golf, man. And they've got the quarter zip, so if you want to play into the fall and it gets a little chilly where you're at, wear one of those quarter zips.
You're going to need to.
Which are very cool.
And he plays in his backyard.
Well, I can chip a little bit back there.
That's funny. Well, you had your driver out. Took that picture.
Get your waggle on.
Man, they got good shit. I want a dinosaur hat, though. Okay. I need to match my dinosaur shirt. Oh, yeah. Just so you know.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can get you one of those.
Thanks.
Waggle Golf, baby. All right, Bellman and Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. Don't forget they're available in Troy, Missouri. If you have terrible credit, they'll still hook you up.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
I know.
And really good people.
Well, because you can get bad credit really quick.
Yeah.
By a simple fuck-up, so they understand that.
Yeah. Okay. So Bellman and Bellman.com. They've got the Buick GMC on one side of Detroit. On the other side, it's the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't forget, we got our hats, by the way, camandstrick.com.
They look good,
From our boy Adam with Victor Hockey.
Don't give them away to all your little nerd buddies in your neighborhood.
No.
Seriously. You need to hook me
I
up.
had to
Can I
give
give
one
some out to
away
some good people?
to a kid who was helping out.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Was helping
But
out
not
some
like
stuff.
your neighbor who doesn't know shit from fuck. Give me some and let me hand them out.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Victor
on that.
Hockey.
They look good, man.
Yeah, you like those?
Yeah, I do.
What color you been wearing?
Well, it depends on what shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, really?
Bro.
You
And
have
my
to
girl
match
actually
it?
wearing. My girl's wearing it too. That's
Is
when you
she?
know it's good.
Okay.
I know. The smaller kind, the one
Yeah.
that you wear, you know.
Uh-huh.
The smaller. but there's two different kinds. I like the bigger kind, you know.
Yeah.
But like Kate wears the other one. It looks cute on her.
Okay.
Like a pink. Thing.
Yeah. Hey, we're almost through the summer, Cam.
I know.
Almost
I'm glad
through
we're
the
done
summer.
with August.
Are you putting all that fall stuff out in your house
there's
yet?
some badass Halloween decorations.
We're gonna talk about that next
Lord,
week.
Lord.
We'll talk about that next week.
I don't give a shit. I'll spend thousands of dollars on Halloween decorations.
All right. All right. We appreciate Jared Bednar for joining us on this edition of the Cam Strick Podcast. Again, crush the like button, leave a comment.
Yeah.
And
help us out.
I think people will enjoy getting to know Jared Bednar, Bedsy. A little.
Hi, Jared. I don't like the name Jared. Just be honest.
Cam's like, what do they call you?
Well,
Because
no
I don't
shit.
think they call you Jared.
Hi, I went to Jared. With my husband, I went to Jared. Or a Jared from Subway.
The jewelry store. Oh, God.
I'm
dude.
just saying.
Why you got to bring him up? But I don't believe his story. You think that's all he ate were Subway
no.
sandwiches?
Jesus, Andy. No shit, he didn't. But it was a good marketing campaign where he
guess
walked
so.
to the store.
Dude, you got to stop
What a-
bringing that up.
Why? It's
About,
true.
I don't want to talk about Jared.
Well, he's a creep.
He is a creep.
Not Jared Bednar. Great guy. Stanley Cup winner. Jared from fucking Subway.
Okay.
Creepo.
Yeah.
And then Jared Jewelry is like,
I know.
Jared.
We know. Yeah.
Okay, well, Jesus,
Okay.
Andy. I'm just like, good God.
All right. This has been episode number 202 on the Cam Strick Podcast.